Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, heading up until 2 o'clock. The next 4 hours, we've got you. We'll talk with Matt Derrick coming up an hour from now. Chiefs stuff. We're going to talk Chiefs with Matt Derrick, talk some NFL with Matt Derrick, AFC, NFC Conference Championship games. Who's going to win the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Seahawks? Who's going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Broncos? We'll talk with him about that. Anything to take away from these four teams being in this spot? I think part of the conversation this offseason will be, is this a one-off where we're watching the quarterback matchups that could be a Super Bowl matchup of Darnold versus Stidham? Is this a one-year crazy outlier? Or are we seeing defenses rise to the point so much and more of an emphasis on running game and defense that we could be heading back to an era where quarterbacks can facilitate, but it isn't the quarterback that's going out and doing all the winning for that team? I think it's an outlier because I think you still need that Hall of Fame top-level quarterback. But we did have an era of Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer, a number of guys along the way that it was like, okay, these guys were able to help their team get to a Rex Grossman, get to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, and they were surrounded by a really good cast, defense, special teams, running game, some playmakers on the outside, and all they had to do was just facilitate. So we'll see if that's the case. My inclination is until we see a trend moving forward, this will be the one-year outlier, that it happens to be a year in which the Chiefs were having a down year. The Buffalo Bills had some issues. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens were going through what they were going through. The Bengals have no defense and Joe Burrow got injured. Some of the top teams in the league that had fallen back while some teams were rising up, playing good football, good enough football to get there, and you only have to play the team in front of you. So if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, their road could be Herbert, Stroud, Stidham, and Darnold.
Wow, yeah.
A little bit different than some of the other paths we've seen teams have to take.
Sure.
But that's what the teams are in front of them. If you win the Super Bowl, you win the Super Bowl. I know people are talking about, well, do you take away from Drake May and the Patriots if they win the Super Bowl because who Drake May went up against? Still Super Bowl winning quarterback. We'll find out 10, 15 years from now if this was that was really schedule driven. And good for the Patriots and Drake May because they've done nothing since.
But still, you take advantage of what's placed in front of you. So many times teams don't. I think K-State and Missouri and football this year didn't take advantage of that. I mean, you look at even when the Eagles won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, everyone probably assumed, I think we all assumed, Nick Foles, Tom Brady's going to wax this backup quarterback.
Nice run by Foles. Wentz went down that end of their season, but good run.
And so maybe Jarrett Stidham comes out and has a Nick Folesian style of run, but I don't. Is it going to be the most difficult stretch? No, but end of the day, the flag flies forever. The ring is going to be there, and in 30 years, you don't really care. Besides the fact that you won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I think in 10 years, if there's more success for Drake May and wins another Super Bowl or two, this one won't matter who you went through, because Patrick Mahomes has won 3. And it's like, well, who did he beat to get there? Doesn't matter, because we know he beat some good players along the way to get there to win 3. Tom Brady won 7. Well, yeah, but was there a year where it was kind of easier than another? Probably, but we don't care because he did it 7 times. If you do it once, then it could be that was just a special moment and things happened in your favor, a serendipitous break here or there, maybe literally with Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Who knows? We'll find out as the years go by, but I do think it's going to be an interesting case study moving forward of, is this the pendulum swinging back to so much emphasis on defense, the running game, more of the old school style of football, that we will see more opportunities for the good quarterback, fine quarterback, can run the system to make a run through the playoffs, as opposed to Patrick Mahomes is on that team, so I'm betting on Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen plays for that team, so I'm putting the money on Josh Allen to go and win the game. Matt Stafford plays for the Rams, so I'm putting the money on the Rams to go and win the game. If it's Darnold and Stidham, I mean, we look at it and go, well, what do they have in common?
Sure.
I mean, really, really good defense, coaches that know what they're doing. Sean Payton is one hell of a play caller.
You know what's funny is I think you can make the argument this has already been the case with the Eagles. And again, I'm not trying to just focus on them, but they did it with a backup quarterback. They did it with Jalen Hurts, who I think now we're starting to see is he's a fine quarterback, but he's not in the same echelon as Josh or Patrick, or I don't even think he's a Herbert. I mean, I think even going into this year, I tried putting him in that category because I value winning and doing what is needed to win games. But it's not like Jalen Hurts is a game-changing quarterback. I think the Eagles have more or less had that blueprint of we're going to get everything else, and then we'll just put a top 15 quarterback in there and call it a day. I think the Texans tried doing that this year with C.J. Stroud. We're seeing the Seahawks do it with Sam Darnold. And what's funny with the Patriots, I think that they are almost more in the not in the because I'm not saying Drake May's Patrick or Josh or Joe or Lamar just yet. That's way too early to crown the guy. But I think he's closer, and the Patriots are closer into that category than the Eagles or the Seahawks. Because while, yes, I think that the Patriots have a good defense, Christian Gonzalez is a top 5 corner in the NFL. They have a good defense. They have a great head coach. You look at that team, it's not like they're loaded with a bunch of superstars. The offensive line's good, not insane. You look at their weapons, yeah, we talked about how much we like Kayshon Boutte and some of their pieces, but I don't think anyone's going to do a draft and say, yeah, Hunter Henry's a top 5 tight end taken off the board.
Josh Allen's like, you can't win with Stephon Diggs. I'm sorry.
But, again, to me, I think Drake May is more of an elevator than a lot of these guys. Now, again, Stafford is, I think, an elevator, but he has Nakua and Devontae, and he's got pieces over there. But, I mean, I do think it's funny. The Patriots are an outlier in the way of, I think people think of them as this real complete team, and they've shown that to an extent. But I think Drake May has done a lot of elevation, which to me has been very impressive.
Yeah, so we'll talk with Matt Derrick. We'll see about, moving forward what this may or may not be for this year. If the Chiefs get their bleep together this offseason, we may go right back to, oh, hey, look, it's back to what we knew of Brady, Mahomes, Burrow, the Super Bowl winners being Brady, Mahomes, Stafford, Mahomes, Hurts.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's Stafford this year. And maybe it's like, well, out of all that talk, it still turned out to be a previous Super Bowl winning franchise quarterback that did it again. And sometimes Jimmy Garoppolo gets to the Super Bowl. And sometimes Brock Purdy gets to the Super Bowl.
If May wins, I think you would start putting him in the, again, not the Mahomes category, but I hate even comparing him to Stafford because Stafford's going to be a Hall of Famer too, and this is way too early to do it. But I think we're seeing Drake May be that team again. That's more quarterback than everything else.
He would have more Super Bowl rings than Allen, Burrow, and Lamar combined.
That would be
he wins this year.
Insane.
Yeah,
40 more playoff wins than Justin Herbert.
Poor guy. Well, I mean, I was going to say now that he's got Mike McDaniel, but he may not have Mike McDaniel because now Mike McDaniel's interviewing for the Bills head coaching job.
Which, how does that? That is the NIL college quarterback
thing. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, hold on, is Harbaugh okay with this?
Yeah.
Did they agree to terms? Is this Emmanuel Sanders with the Chiefs and Broncos? What's going on here with Mike McDaniel?
Yeah.
Or maybe Mike McDaniel got there, hung out with Jim Harbaugh for a day, and went, this ain't going to work.
Yeah.
We are oil and water. This is not going. We are country and rock and roll. This thing is not going to work at all. We couldn't be two diametrically different people, and we just won't work well together. I'm going somewhere else. I don't know. We'll talk with Matt Derrick. Mick Schaefer will join us. Let's start with this college basketball this weekend. KU State on the docket tomorrow, 7:00 on Fox. Let's hear from Bill Self. This is the update on Darren Peterson. Yet again, I know it's not the cramping or the soft tissue injury, but it is yet again a conversation about whether or not Darren Peterson will play in a game. Here is the update Bill Self gave yesterday on the ankle injury for Darren Peterson.
I don't know yet. He's getting treatment, and he's got a pretty severe ankle sprain. But fortunately, that's all it is a sprain. So hopefully he'll be able to go and play. But we're not at a point where we can make a decision on that yet.
So we'll see. It feels like it's been the same old, although there were 4 games, and this is different. Ankle sprain, but as he said, it's a pretty severe ankle sprain, and it hampered him after the ankle sprain, even though he was able to play, but not to the level they are used to him playing.
I'm jealous that it was only an ankle sprain.
Yeah,
I mean,
makes
he's
sense.
Again, it just shows that he must have drank more milk than me.
Clearly.
I mean,
His bones are better.
His bones are better, apparently.
Yeah.
And, hey, Bill, if you want to get an x-ray done on mine and see my treatment plan for free or just, help me out.
Your treatment plan is just wear a boot?
Can you give me a treatment plan,
Bill?
Bill?
You need to see Darren Peterson's treatment plan, I feel like.
Hey, Darren, can you hook me up with your guys, please?
What's Bo Nix's treatment plan? That's probably the one
you know
need.
what? Bo Nix, can you, Denver, I'm not a fan of you guys.
Yeah,
I'm still
right.
going to not be a fan, but can you, help me out here?
Yes. Here's the question I'll ask as it relates to this game. How badly does Jerome Tang need this win? Now, I don't think it's going to matter for K-State making the tournament or not by winning tomorrow, if they were to win. But it may matter for how K-State ends the season. And Jerome Tang at least offering to the higher-ups, the boosters, the alum, that I'm 4-0 against Kansas in Manhattan. I know we've had some struggles along the way, but there's one thing you can guarantee in my time, and that is when KU comes here, we win. Now, I'm 0-3 in Lawrence, but Bruce Weber lost 7 consecutive games against Kansas before he was let go. I'm 3-3 against him. 3-0 in Manhattan. Couple of overtime wins, but wins regardless.
Yeah.
So if you are Jerome Tang and you are barreling towards 3 straight years without an NCAA tournament, back-to-back years of not even an NIT, a postseason in general, and then you lose to Kansas at home and lose in Lawrence, what do you have to hang your hat on? What do you offer that's different from what was happening before that resulted in that coach being fired in Bruce Weber?
I'll tell you what it is. The large contract that's going to be a difficult
what you have
aspect of getting out of.
What you have to offer is a difficult contract to buy out of.
That's literally what it would be. And even if you beat Kansas, you feel great for a little bit because that's your rival. That's great. It's not saving his job. At some point, this is all we're talking about. And this is, I think this is all K-State's talking about, is how do we get out of this contract? How do we buy him out? Is it financially and fiscally responsible to make this move? That's all it is now at this point. I don't think there's anything he can do unless he somehow goes on some miraculous run and they make the tournament and we talk about some catalyst because they beat Kansas and that set them off on this crazy run. If you miss the tournament this year, I don't know how you have any other conversation, whether you win this game or not, other than how do we get out of the Jerome Tang contract?
If they were to pull off the victory tomorrow and finish with some sort of momentum towards the end of the season, I believe it would make it more likely that you are weighing the $18.7 million differently in saying it is a little too much. From how we ended the season, still beating KU at home, 4-0 in Manhattan against Kansas, something to be said for that. Bruce Weber was missing tournaments and getting beat by Kansas. So one more year, it'll save $3 million. But it'll be, we've given him a full 5 years to figure things out. And if he doesn't figure it out, then then we'll know full on, beating Kansas or not, it's time to move on. But there is something in this rivalry, there's something to be said for beating Kansas. There's something to be said for winning that rivalry game. Because the last thing you can do is not make the tournament and lose to Kansas. Then you need to go. At least if you're saying, well, we didn't make the tournament, but we split with Kansas. I mean, in the 90s, I remember that being the case with Mizzou.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, well, Mizzou struggled. They didn't make the tournament, but somehow they beat the number one team in America in Columbia. They split with Kansas. Okay, they lost in Columbia, but then they got that game in Lawrence. They split every year with KU, and there's something to be said for that about Norm.
Yeah.
You know, he might be getting old, but he still beats KU. They're not making tournament runs, but you know what? There's one thing I know for a fact, and that is at least one time a year they're going to knock off Kansas. Now, that's different with Norm Stewart being there for 30 years and Jerome Tang being there for, this is his fourth year, and not having that, background of going to school there and all of that. And there was something to be said for winning that, but it can't be all. It can be something that can help you get one more year, but it can't be the only thing you do at Kansas State is beat KU and not make the tournament. Eventually that gets old, and you've got to do both. You've got to take care of Kansas at home and go through the tournament run. And beating Kansas can only get you so far. It can maybe get you an extra year, depending on how you finish. And because you're owed $19 million if they fire you, it could maybe get you another year. But it's not going to get you the faith from the fan base that, okay, he's got it figured out. He's got it figured out. We're going to stay with him because, boom, now the worm has turned and we're heading in the right direction.
It feels very Gonzo Martin. Very different stylistic play and all that stuff, but it feels very, that first year brings you so much optimism where, again, now Tang had more, right? He made an Elite Eight. He just made a tournament, Gonzo did, and Michael Porter Jr. and all this stuff. But I think
getting tickets.
I think there was at least some sort of comparison there of that first year was, wow, okay, this is fun. He's the right guy. Let's go. We're all in. Year two, well, that's a disappointment, but at least you had last year. That's the outlier. He's going to be more like year one. Then you have year three. Okay, well, now it's back-to-back, but year one was so good. He'll get this thing figured out. I'm not worried. Come on, he made the Elite Eight. He brought in the number one player in college basketball. They're going to figure it out. Well, then year four. Year four for Gonzo was the COVID year, weird year. They made the tournament. They got bounced. It was a weird situation. Then they did one more year, and it was an abstract, utter disaster, just an atrocity for Missouri basketball, just horrendous. And I think that's a little bit what you're seeing with Jerome Tang is everyone keeps saying, well, he has to be a good coach. He had one great year. You don't make an Elite Eight unless you're a great coach. I don't know,
Kevin
man.
Ali won a national championship, and he got fired.
I think
Gene Chizik won a national championship at Auburn.
Just to me, it feels like that was the outlier. Year one for Gonzo. That was the outlier. Year one for Jerome Tang. What we know now, that is the outlier. I know they couldn't make that decision when they gave him that contract. I know that they were between a rock and a hard place, and eventually K-State, they ponied up. I know a lot of fans and alumni were thrilled that they were going to dig down deep and pay Jerome Tang and keep him, but this is the risk you take.
Yeah.
You overpay, and you never recap what you did that first year. You're always searching.
I want to play this clip because I thought it was interesting. Bill Self yesterday at the press conference, he missed the game, obviously, at Colorado. But watching the game on television, he was asked, as you take in the game, are you yelling at the TV? Are you laying back and relaxing and enjoying the game? How do you experience a KU basketball game that you can't coach in?
Sitting back would probably be a little bit of a stretch. Yelling may be a little bit of a stretch, too, considering I just didn't need to be doing that at the time. But I know now what it means to be an armchair quarterback because I sat there and watched, and I had all the answers. And then when you really think about it, I started thinking to myself, well, I've got all the answers now, but those would be the same answers I have if I was coaching, and all those answers don't actually work, nor do people actually execute the way that you see they should, having all the answers. So I saw what it means to be an armchair quarterback, and certainly understands, which I can actually agree with many fans when they are doing the same thing. Just so they know, there are times where I probably agree 100% with them. It's just the fact of the matter, getting people to actually do it in real time isn't quite as easy as what it seems to be. Like, I watched the game and I'm like going, they're playing zone, the middle is wide open, why don't we get to the middle? Well, that was something that was emphasized the whole time, and it just didn't quite happen the way we wanted it to. So there's times where obviously you think it, but sometimes just because you think it doesn't mean that everyone actually reacts and does it.
I love that perspective because, he's saying, sometimes the fans are right. Like, I agree. That's what we wanted to do. They didn't execute it. I can call the play and wanted to put them in a position, but if they don't do it, then eventually it comes down to the players playing. But it's like, I had all the answers there. Watching it, I know what it's like to be an armchair quarterback. I had all the answers there, which, by the way, Jacques Vaughn, apparently, what the hell is he doing? I got all the answers. Why aren't you doing this, Jacques? What are you doing, dummy? Then you talk to him like, that makes sense. No, Bill, this is what we talked about in the huddle. Oh, okay, yeah, no. Why didn't that happen? Well, because of A, B, and C.
I did want to look up and see. I watched the game. I was just trying to remember if he played anyone who doesn't normally play, just to be like, is Jacques Vaughn someone like, I love this guy. He never plays. We're playing him.
Giving him a chance, finally.
Giving him a chance. No, he did not. I was like, I couldn't remember. No, same rotation. 5 minutes of Dawson because McDowell fouled out. So
so there you go. Even coaches can understand when they're watching from afar. Even somebody who's there intricately with knowledge of the practices, everything that goes on. Even he's going, well, why don't you do this? What are you doing? Why wouldn't you do that? And I love the perspective of, well, if he was on the sideline, he might be doing the exact same thing Jacques Vaughn did. And everybody at home would be going, why aren't you doing this? And he's going, yeah, I know. We'd like to do that. Like, there's a couple times where the specific play slips my mind as to what it was or which local team it was. But there was a clear play out of halftime or out of timeout where they swung the ball. They got a mismatch, and it was like, mouse in the house. And they got the big man, and the smaller guy is fronting, and there was nobody behind him. And the guy on the wing looked to throw it in, but he was being guarded and he couldn't get it, so then he swung it around, and when he did that, they switched back.
Yeah.
Boom, gone. And everybody's home going, throw it into the big guy! And the coach is probably going, throw it into the big guy! This is the play! But if the player's going, I don't really trust it, I don't want to throw it to, you know what? I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to surrender. I'm going to throw it to somebody else, and maybe they can get it into that guy. It's like, well, yeah, that was the play, but that guy has to execute and have some confidence that he's going to make the pass that he needs to make. I can't remember if that was K-State, Mizzou, or KU. I just remember watching it going, he's right there.
Hey,
just throw the ball.
Jacques Vaughn, he won.
Come on, mouse in the house.
And he covered.
Throw him the ball.
Hey, that's a win and a cover. Bill Self, come on now.
There you go, that's true. Yeah, mouse in the house or Smurf over Sean Phillips. Whatever you want to go with. I'm not sure. By the way, it's a can't-lose game for Mizzou tomorrow. It's not a must-win, but it's a can't-lose.
Yeah.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Carlos Beltran has a decision to make. He may not actually make a decision. We've seen other players not make a decision. Major League Baseball Hall of Fame is now allowing players to not make a decision. But he certainly has a lot to think about when it comes to going into the Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that, and the top 100 at Major League Baseball came out. A lot of the headline was that Bobby being number 3 again. But there's actually something in the top 100 that shows what this organization is doing that's actually showing that they are maximizing what they can do with the economics of baseball and the current structure. We'll talk about that as well. Matt Derrick at 11 o'clock. Mick Schaefer coming up at 12:30. We'll get into the cuts before the show is over. More Zone right after this. Men, if you're out there and suffering from erectile dysfunction, you do not need to wait around and figure out if it is something that will solve itself. It is a condition that can cause arguments, breakups, depression, a lot of different things, and it is something that has a condition that's caused by many different issues. You never know what might be the underlying factor there. Heartland Men's Health is here to help and help you figure that out from a number of different ways, whether that be with testosterone, whether that be with peptides, whether that be with specifically looking at and making the ED the main part of the treatment. It's Heartland Men's Health. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a specific to you and what your body and health needs. Heartland Men's Health, they have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. Maybe you've tried the pills or the herbals and they have failed. Well, they have treatments that work when that happens. In fact, treatments with success rates well over 90%. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit, it's $99. That includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit's free. If it does, there you go. An expert staff with 3 locations to serve you at Heartland Men's Health, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. All right, hanging out on a Friday edition of The Zone. We'll try to bring the heat over the next 3.5 hours because, boy, it's cold. Hot takes galore. Breaking news.
Justin Reed had one.
He did. I think he was trolling people.
He was.
There is news in the NFL. Some boy, breaking news in the NFL. Former Colts quarterback and current St. Michael Catholic High School coach Philip Rivers is interviewing today for the Buffalo Bills head coaching job.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's do
Awesome.
it, dude. Let's flippin' do it. It's not like he doesn't have head coaching experience. He's coached a state championship team. All right? Mike McDaniel ever won a state championship or a championship as a head coach? You know what Philip Rivers has done? He's won a championship as a head coach. Okay? That's what he's done. Whew. You know what? I hope that happens. I pray that that happens so that Philip Rivers will be in there with that clown show as someone who's never been a head coach before, has never called plays as a coordinator, has never run a meeting, and then would be the one that's in charge of an entire team at the NFL level. Oh, please let that happen.
He's going to go to Josh and say, so I know how you've been working on your arm and your arm slot a whole bunch. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is shot put it. You really want to try and shot put this ball, put the ball in harm's way more, actually. And what you want to do, you want to have 3 great quarters. But that fourth quarter,
Oh, yeah.
you just want to get your team in it and then throw a back-breaking interception. Oh, wait, you already have that down.
You got it. You did it. Let's take that film and amplify it and take it into like as many big games as possible.
Yes. And when
Fantastic.
you want to kneel on the ball, what you want to do, you're going to kneel, fumble the snap, and let Studebaker fall on it. Wasn't that what it was? Didn't you, to kneel? Monday Night Football? Halloween? I was there.
Well, I don't know.
Chargers were going to kneel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah, I don't
was it
remember who
Studebaker?
fell. I can't remember who fell on it. Whew. If Philip Rivers is hired, which he won't be, but that would be amazing, he would join Jeff Saturday as the coaches without any prior college or pro coaching experience to be named an NFL head coach. Norm Van Brocklin in 1961
It was Studebaker.
did that. Was it Studebaker? Great. Norm Van Brocklin in 1961, the last one to do that. Although Jeff Saturday didn't win a state championship in high school. So, I mean, I think Philip Rivers is already a better candidate than he was. You know what I mean? All right, 913-912-4810. We'll talk some football with Matt Derrick coming up at 11 o'clock. So Carlos Beltran has a decision to make.
Yeah.
And there's also, in Major League Baseball, they have allowed players to choose no logo on their hat. I don't believe Greg Maddux has a logo because he couldn't decide between Braves and Cubs. Tony La Russa, I don't believe, has a logo on his hat for some of the same reasons as to all the different teams that he managed and everything. Carlos Beltran will have a much more difficult decision than Andrew Jones.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Jones is pretty much figured out what logo is going to be on his hat.
Yankee. Oh.
That's right. Yes,
Oh, okay.
exactly. New York Knicks, oddly enough.
It's
That's
weird.
Random. Beltran, there's really only 2 choices. It's Royals and Mets.
Yeah.
And the assumption is that it will be a Mets hat. Working with the organization, going to the All-Star games, all the All-Star 5 All-Star games in 7 years with the Mets. But he played 7 years with the Royals. So same number of years. He played 44 more games with the Mets than he did with the Royals. His WAR was higher with the Mets than it was with the Royals.
Yeah.
It's when he was in his prime, was with the Mets. Okay. But I wonder, and I would hope, I don't know that I will be disappointed if he wears a Mets hat, Like, I think the ranking of disappointment would be Mets, no logo, Royals. Obviously, Royals would not be disappointment. It'd be ecstatic. It'd be the second player to wear a Royals cap in the Hall of Fame with George Brett. George Brett, Carlos Beltran. Which I think, I don't know if that influences the decision or not for Beltran to be just the second guy to have a KC logo on the hat in the Hall of Fame.
I guess I also didn't realize. I should have known. I'm dumb. I forgot about this.
Don't worry about it.
Brett Saberhagen.
Sabes.
I thought he was. I don't know why I thought he was. That's dumb. I know that.
Yeah.
But I thought he was in the Hall of Fame.
So, Brett and then Salvi, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bobby, if he continues on this track. But it would be cool to have another one in Beltran. I am gearing up for him to be wearing a Mets hat in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But he talked in his press conference yesterday about how much George Brett meant to him. So would that then change some of the heartstrings of I can be next to George Brett as the only Royals hat in the Hall of Fame? I played the same number of years, and what separates the Mets and the Royals is that they drafted me, they developed me, they brought me up as a 21-year-old. I was the everyday center fielder. I made my first All-Star game with the Royals, starting outfield until he was traded to the Houston Astros, and then he was a reserve because that's when the Astros were in the National League. So he was an All-Star starter in the American League, but traded on June 24th before the All-Star game of July 13th, so he then had to be a reserve in the National League because they already had their starters. But that was the first All-Star game of his career, was voted in as a starter with the Royals. He was one home run the year before away from being a 30-30 player. He was becoming one of the best players in baseball, and he would have been on the track and continued to be the player that he was with less postseason appearances, obviously, if he stayed a Royal. But he didn't. They had to trade him. Economics of baseball. He said yesterday at one point he thought he was going to play his entire career with the Royals. That was his dream. But the biggest influence for him as a young player was taking batting practice in the cage with George Brett. Hearing George Brett talk about all of the things that he needs to do, how George Brett went about his business, the work ethic, what he would do before games, learning how to be a pro from George Brett. I don't know if that talk by Carlos in the press conference means that maybe he didn't want to say, I'm not going to wear a Mets hat in the Hall of Fame because I'm working with the organization and I'm not going to say this here, but talking about George Brett was maybe an Easter egg of what the decision may be. Or he may just come to the decision and say, bleep it, dude, I'm in the Hall of Fame. I don't care. You don't have to put a logo up there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, Greg Maddux, I'm not choosing between the two. So I'm not choosing between the Royals and the Mets because if I wear a Mets hat, it's going to feel like I'm eliminating everything I did with the Royals. If I wear a Royals hat, it's going to feel like I'm eliminating everything I did with the Mets. It doesn't matter. I don't need a logo. I'm in the freaking Hall of Fame. And Royals fans and Mets fans know what they mean to me. And that's all that matters is that I'm there.
Just go Rangers for the bleep of it. Just go the
Yankees.
52 games you played with the Rangers.
You know what? Astros would be a better because of what he did in the postseason.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. No.
Limited time with the Astros. He was so amazing in the postseason. See, the thing with the Mets, he took strike 3 and they mother bleeped him for 5 years.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, come on, the Royals always loved you. There's no bad memories here.
Yeah.
You have a real bad memory with the Mets. You have one that really stands out. No, I think he goes in as a Met. I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna
be pissed. I'm gonna hate him forever.
It's. Tony Gonzalez goes.
It'll be worse than
Falcons.
It'll be worse than the Tony Gonzalez speech with the background of the Falcons highlights going on. It'll be worse than that if Beltran goes in as a Met. Damn it!
I think he goes in as a Met, and I'm not going to be thrilled, but I'll understand it, and I'm going to be bummed. But part of me, it's not like the Mets have a ton of Hall of Famers either.
I think they only have 2.
They have 2 who are as Mets.
Yeah.
They have Mike Piazza.
Yeah.
And then they have Tom Seaver. Because Gary Carter's not in as a Met.
But you know what Carlos Beltran never did? Talk glowingly about what Mike Piazza meant to him as a player growing up as a young guy to learn how to be a pro. The way he did with George Brett.
I don't argue that. again, I hope he goes in as a Royal, but maybe this is me, just the emotional hedge.
Yeah,
I
get it.
I feel like he'll go in as a Met just because of the playoff success, and that's the team that gave him that large contract. That's the team that he had the most success with.
Yeah, and got to the postseason, 5 All-Stars in 7 years, Gold Gloves, Silver Sluggers, and only 1 All-Star with the Royals, and that was the year they end up trading him.
Yeah, he had the Rookie of the Year, and then the 1 All-Star, and then it's unfortunate that he didn't get the maybe love that he probably should have in Kansas City.
I mean, he was my favorite player.
No, I mean nationally, as far as All-Star games and
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
like the fact he wasn't an All-Star in 2001 is just in 2002 is just
2002. He had again that was 29 and 37, so almost the 30-30 season.
Yeah, so he
2002.
Had 24 and 31 with 101 RBIs in 01. He had 29, 105 and 35 in 02.
35.
26, 141 in 03. Like. He OPS 911 in 2003 and didn't get a All-Star appearance. I mean, absurd.
He played with the Royals, and he's and so look, I'm hoping if it's not the Royals that it's no logo. That would be my preference, but he hasn't asked me yet. So, and until he does, I do wonder though that how much this is the team that drafted me, developed me, and gave me a shot as a 21-year-old to play Major League Baseball. I wanted to stay there long term, but maybe there's a better understanding of the economics of baseball now rather than being traded and be like, wow, this sucks. Although we went to Houston and just killed it in the postseason, and then got a ton of money. And regarded by playing in New York and playing for not only Mets, but the Yankees and the different stops that he had, it was like this is one of the best players in baseball. And now he's a Hall of Famer. So I'm happy that he's a Hall of Famer, first and foremost.
Yeah.
There's a little hypocrisy with it on whether people care about the cheating or not with the stealing signs or the electronically use of stealing signs or steroids to make yourself better. Like it's all viewed as some form of cheating. It's a conversation at a different time. I don't really care. But I think it would be really cool in that connection of him learning how to be a pro. And then when it's all said and done, he and George Brett are next to each other in the Hall of Fame wearing the Royals hat. It'd be badass. It'd be so cool if that was the case.
I agree. He was my favorite player in that era.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had a framed. For my dad, that home run he robbed in center field.
Oh my God!
We had that one framed for him. Just again, I love Carlos Beltran. So I hope he's a Royal. I guess I'm just trying to emotionally hedge. Which, by the way, real quick, I also think Andrew Jones was very deserving. I think Andrew Jones. I get people's thought of he hit 254. I understand the hit number of it being relatively low, but we are talking about, I think, the best defensive center fielder in Major League Baseball history. What him and Willie Mays, you're looking at a guy who hit 434 home runs while being a 10-time Gold Glover, and again, probably the best defensive center fielder in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, he was deserving. One of my best friends, a Braves fan, and I didn't see the voting and the news coming out. All I saw was his text with all caps saying, "Finally."
Yes.
I'm like, oh, wow. And I went and looked at him like, oh, and Beltran. I'm like, dude, Beltran's going in too. He replied, trip to Cooperstown? I'm like, if me and you huge Andrew Jones fan and Braves fan, huge Beltran fan, Royals fan, I don't know, maybe a trip to Cooperstown with the two of us.
Gordo also got 1 vote. If anyone saw, he got a vote, which was more than some other ones. Obviously, he's going to fall
more than I got.
He's going to fall off the ballot, but he got 1 vote. The other guy I thought was deserving, real quick, is because I have some strong thoughts in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. We probably don't have time for all of it, but I think Bobby Abreu needs a much better look. I think Bobby Abreu, you look at the numbers, he's on the cusp, but I think needs a little more love.
It's that Philly coming through there.
And I think Angels, and I think, to me, the one that makes zero sense, I will never understand. the fact that Mark Burley gets hardly any love, and the fact that Andy Pettit gets close. They have very similar numbers. I think Mark Burley has slightly better numbers. And I think the part that drives me insane is because Mark Burley played on a bad team the majority of his career, obviously 05 notwithstanding, and because Pettit was a guy on the Yankees cog that he gets more love. I actually think it should be the opposite. I think Mark Burley deserves more love for helping carry a horrendous White Sox organization for a long, long time, while Pettit was just a dude in a great organization. I digress. Mark Burley needs more love.
Mark Burley is in my Hall of Fame of when I'm having to do post-game for Royals pitchers. Because that guy worked fast. It's like, you got post-game tonight? Mark Burley's pitching? Hell yeah. This is a quick game, dude. Mark Burley is one of the few pitchers in the past that would have zero issue with the pitch clock. In fact, the pitch clock would never even be close. It was get the ball, throw the ball, get the ball, throw the ball. It was awesome. And then you had Doug Davis. That was a human rain delay that just took an hour on the mound. Good God.
I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
If Pettit gets in and Burley doesn't, it's the big Yankee. It's big Yankee all over again, just stamping their foot on this thing, and I am not happy about it.
Big Yankee over Big Sox, and that's an issue with you. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, wrap up this hour. Matt Derrick joins us at 11 o'clock. We'll talk some NFL football, some Chiefs football with Matt Derrick. More Zone coming up next.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode, and all customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the championship round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. I've been rocking this all playoffs long, and it's been very, very fun. Actually, had a little NBA last night, a little Steven Castle for the Spurs. Thank you, Mr. Castle, for helping me out last night. I got some nice profit boosts right there on FanDuel, because more boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick what you believe in or fade me, because I've been struggling. I like the Patriots to cover against the Broncos. I just trust Drake May. I just think he's a much better quarterback, and I don't think Jarrett Stidham is rocking a Nick Foles. And again, I like the Rams. I like them outright because McVay and Stafford, I think it's that simple. I'm going with that duo right there. So fade me, follow me. It's your choice, and you can apply those profit boosts and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day.
21 plus in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We'll talk with Matt Derrick coming up at 11 o'clock in the next segment. Talk some Chiefs, talk some NFL football with him, get his thoughts on the games coming up this weekend. A trend, an outlier. Fernando Mendoza officially declares for the NFL draft. Fernando Mendoza, the next Raiders quarterback. EB is returning. O'Shea is coaching. What does that mean for the Chiefs? Also, wondering from Matt Derrick's perspective, how much of the defense should be a focus in the offseason, because so much of the offense has been talked about and the offensive coaching staff. We'll talk about those things and more with Matt Derrick next. Sorry, I'm finishing up my bite of jambalaya from Nick and Jake's. Kevin Timms is the man. He's like, hey, it's so cold outside. I'll drop off some hot lunch of jambalaya. And I'm like,
oh, the weather outside is frightful.
I could kiss you,
Kevin
Kevin.
Timmons, bring something delightful.
Yeah.
Since we have nowhere to go, let me eat jambalaya on this show.
Oh, nice. Okay, I was wondering where the
salvaged it.
I was wondering where the how you were going to land the plane there.
So I actually have a better song.
Oh, you do?
Darcy, I don't know if you've a chance to pull this thing
I don't
up.
know how you could find a better song than that. I think that's going to be a tough.
That was pretty good.
Boy, that bar is pretty steep.
Do you want to play it now or coming back from break?
I think now, Darcy. I think we should just play it now
Wait
because
wait till Matt puts his headphones on.
Yeah, put your headphones on because I can eat my toast. While my
toast. What are you, a child?
Well, garlic toast.
What do you have?
Eric B&M. Eric B&M.
So stupid.
Eric B&M. Eric B&M.
It flows so smoothly.
Eric B&M.
Yeah, I mean, it's right along with the beat.
Eric B&M.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean,
I
that
hadn't
is,
heard that remix. So
yeah, I mean, it was very popular in Australia for some reason, but yeah, I mean, right along the same tone, same melody. That was very good.
Couldn't even tell. It was me.
Exact same sentiment. I mean, it was great, man. It was awesome. Good for you, man.
I put a lot of work into those two songs today. That live one I did, and then that one.
It seemed like the first one actually required a little bit more work. The Jambalaya song required a little bit more
The
work.
Jambalaya song was a certified banger. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Austria, that was top 3,000.
Big in Japan. Very big in Japan.
Very big in Japan. We're big in polka polka. We're big in Sheboygan. Is that what it was from Home Alone?
There you go.
We're very big in Sheboygan.
Very big.
You know, polka polka. You know. He started talking 4 or 5 months later, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Matt Derrick is with us. Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast.
I can feel the heat on the Jambalaya
It
from
is.
here, though. So.
When he talked about bringing in a hot lunch, he wasn't lying, man. This thing is good. My belly is a little hot. There's some spice to it, so my throat a little bit hot. The takes are going to come off being hot today.
Ooh.
Sterling was yelling about Andy Pettit and Mark Burley randomly, so if that doesn't heat up your...
I think his
You're outside.
ankle is twitching from the heat over here.
That's probably what it is. He's got a heating pad on it.
All it is, they're both in the Hall of Very Good. Cole Hamels included as well. But my point is, if Andy Pettit gets in, then Mark Burley should be in. I think neither should be in. I think they're both in the Hall of Very Good.
Nobody's putting Chase Utley in? Come on.
I think you're going to be fine and not having to worry
Longevity.
about, he's a stat collector. You're not going to have to worry about, arguing about Pettit or Burley. But we can argue about the Chiefs and the coaching staff. But one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Matt, I brought this up as we started the show, is we've got this quarterback matchup with the games on Sunday, and we may have just a brilliant quarterback matchup of Stidham versus Darnold in the Super Bowl. While we have May and Stidham and Stafford and Darnold. Now, we may have Stafford and May. It might be like, okay, well, looking back 10 years from now, that was actually a pretty damn good quarterback matchup
Very
there.
possible.
So my question is, in your opinion, moving forward, are we watching a one-year outlier anomaly that there is one sort of offensive-driven team in the Rams, the number one offense in the Rams, going up against, by the way, the number one defense in the Seahawks. But the other three are, let's play defense, let's control the line of scrimmage, let's run the ball outside of the Broncos not being very good at running the ball, have our quarterback make plays when need be, but playing more of the old school isn't the right word because it's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but sort of marrying the old school running and defense is how you win championships versus, with the new school of, you can spread it out and have some different dynamism to your passing game. But the ebbs and flows, Matt, and the pendulum swinging from spread, single high, attacking down the field to shell coverage, everything underneath, run the ball to get them out of shell coverage, play good defense, that pendulum swinging this way. Is this a one-year sort of anomaly that we've got these quarterbacks and this group of teams? Or are we going to look back and go, you know what, we went through an era of 4, 5, 6 years where we had the Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfers and Rex Grossmans that made the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl because it went from quarterback to defense was saying run it and stop the run and find tight ends and a little bit of that. So if you are putting on your predicting the future hat and holding this crystal ball, when we look back, are we going to get back to the Mahomes and Allens and Burrows and players like that? Or are we on the cusp of you've got the amazing quarterback, but that's not going to be enough anymore?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that pendulum swinging.
Yeah.
And it's a popular concept, to be talking about. And it has seemed over the last 10 years in particular that when the pendulum has started to swing to the defense, it swings back to the offense really, really fast. And, and part of that, clearly is the NFL. The NFL knows that offense sells tickets, that offense gets eyeballs. So the NFL doesn't want a 13-10 Super Bowl or anything like that.
13-3 like Rams and Patriots in 18.
Yeah, they would certainly rather have some higher scoring games, and they'd like to have close games, which is why that once again, it's all about trying to make every team as equal as possible. And of course, if you're going to go 2-15 in the NFL or anything like that, you have to really work at it. You don't get to be terrible without knowing what you're doing.
You have to be well studied and bad.
Yeah, you gotta really work at it. You've got to have the right coaching and the right front office to go 3-14.
That's why the Raiders brought in Pete Carroll. They go, he knows how to bring us to the depths of despair to get the number one draft
We need
pick.
Mendoza.
And I'm working on it right now. So I'm hoping that early next week I'm going to have my 8 teams in the NFL that do not know what they're doing right now.
I love
because
it.
I always talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
I always believe that there's 8 teams. I'm gonna put it down in writing now, so you can hold me to it, and everything going forward. And they won't be in the final 8, but man, Terry Pagula is gonna get honorable mention for that press conference. Whew.
We look back and say, you know what, Matt Nagy's time in Chicago aged well. Alex Smith as a quarterback here in Kansas City has aged well. I think very quickly Sean McDermott's tenure in Buffalo aged well in that maybe he was the guy holding the whole thing together.
It's gotten a lot better.
Was he the guy holding the entire thing together? Good God, man. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe Sean McDermott isn't the problem. It was everybody around him that was the issue, and he was holding it together.
Because I even go back to, honestly, the Mahomes trade in that era. Because remember, Doug Wally was the GM at the time, but I don't think it was he resigned. I think he had already been just told that he was going to not be the GM anymore after the draft, and then Brandon Beane came in and started right after the draft. But I think he was already hired before time. So it was very Major League Baseball-esque in that it was like, okay, you got an organization here that everybody's been fired, but we're gonna let you do the draft and then get out of here. Because it was the Dayton Moore, wasn't? Didn't Dayton Moore the same way?
Yes.
He came in right after the draft.
So nobody actually claims Hochaver.
Right.
Nobody drafted Luke Hochaver.
Nobody.
Nobody was
Nobody
Moore.
did.
Wasn't me. I wasn't there. Well, it was you wanted him. Nope, I didn't draft him. Nobody drafted Hochaver, and everybody drafted Patrick Mahomes.
Which got me.
That's a great call.
Yeah. We really got me off the task here of talking about the pendulum.
It's good though.
I took the little detour there.
You swung your pendulum.
I did. So I don't know if I don't necessarily think that the NFL is going to make any rule changes or anything like that to switch it that way. But you give offensive minds in this league an off season to figure out what teams are doing and look at some of the concepts that defenses are going more and more to. Especially like the split safeties looks and quarters defense that a lot of teams are using now. That really, you give offensive coordinators and quarterbacks an offseason to study film, they're going to figure it out.
But I will point out, in some of the previous iterations of, you're right, the NFL wanting more offense versus a defensive-minded product, they've had some rule changes that have helped offenses. I don't know how many rule changes are left that can help offenses. In fact, the one I think is the one that might get banned is going to hurt offenses, which is the tush push or the pushing of players, right? So a lot of times in the past, it was, okay, well, now we can't have cornerbacks be as physical. You got to turn your head around. You have to be looking for the ball. You can't have any hand fighting, so we're going to take that out. That's going to help offensive explosion go up. Okay, you can't hit the wide receivers above the head. You got to have a target zone. You can't hit quarterbacks high or low or put your body weight on them. That's going to hopefully help, I think, offenses go up. And there'll be penalties, which means there'll be more flags, which means 15 yards. I don't know what rules are left that the NFL can help implement that will help offenses. And by the way, with the new kickoffs, teams are getting the ball much more in field goal range. Kickers are better than ever. They're kicking longer and longer field goals. I don't know what the NFL can necessarily do rule-wise that can help offenses score more points while also not taking away more from the integrity of the game.
I mean, I think there actually is a few things with the clarification on pass interference that could definitely help offenses, because you still see, I think, a fair amount of calls that either don't get called or...
Do you want to see him called?
No, I really don't. But I think the NFL, if they wanted to help out offenses, I mean, they could get it to the point where it's like literally, I mean, if you're not looking back for the ball, you're going to get the flag. Because right now, I mean, I think we've even seen it. I mean, good grief, although I will say, I mean... Carl Cheffers is always an outlier, but I mean, you can just chuck the ball downfield, and Carl Cheffers.
There's no flag on the play.
Carl Cheffers will bail you out, as he kind of did the Broncos the other day, and Bo Nix. So I think there's still a few things that you could do there.
But again, it's watering down, in my opinion, watering down the product. I don't think people want to see penalties.
They don't want to see penalties.
People want to see ball movement.
They want, what the NFL would like, I think, is just to see more receivers unimpeded and fewer flags. So
the NBA's freedom of movement. They want less grabbing and pulling and fighting. They want more. You're allowed to run on the baseline and run around screens without somebody grabbing you, which creates freedom of movement, which means that you're going to be easier to drive and attack, which makes defense a little bit more difficult. I think that's certainly what they want to see. But I think, to Sterling's point, to a degree, leads into the conversation about the defenses, in that so many rules changes have helped the offense. So it almost feels like every offense should be starting at a certain baseline of how good you can be because of all these rules that have benefited that side of the football, where if you have a really good, above average, high-end defense, you're actually now setting yourself apart from other teams because there isn't a baseline defensive expectation because of the rules that are favored on that side of the ball. And maybe that's why we're seeing the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Broncos in the championship game, but also still the Rams, the number one offense, but the Rams in the newer way of running the offense in today's football, of going under center, running the ball, having an all-time, good quarterback in Matt Stafford do the things that he needs to do with receivers and playmakers, but the defense isn't as stellar as the other three teams' defense, so they have to score a lot more. Maybe what we're seeing is why the defenses are separating themselves now in the NFL, because it's become, quote, easier to play offense because of the rules that are skewed one way.
Yeah, and I mean, and we started this conversation with the fact that you kind of have to play old schoolish football, and that if you want to be successful right now in the league, you got to run the football, because you have to keep defenses honest. Because what defenses have decided is that the pendulum has gone so far away that teams aren't trying to run the football. They haven't really built their teams to run the football. Unless you're one of these teams that has your unicorn, unless you've got a Saquon Barkley, unless you've got somebody that can run the ball without a lot of help, that you don't have to just completely scheme your team. I mean, the Chiefs don't have a unicorn. I mean, Chiefs have nobody that can run the football right now effectively. So they've kind of gone too far the other way. But defenses right now, and against the Chiefs, they are, and to me, I've been trying to figure out a way to bring this metaphor together where it makes sense, because what I'm really saying is the opposite of my metaphor. But I'm saying right now that guys like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in particular, I think those would be the two that I would say stand out right now. Defenses around the league trying to figure out, hey, if you can stop these two guys, you can stop anybody. So build your defense to stop Mahomes and Allen. It's kind of like when, they tried to tiger-proof golf courses.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they did when they tiger-proofed the golf courses made sure that the only player who could win was Tiger Woods. Because it made it too difficult for anybody
For
else.
everyone else, yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of the opposite. And it's like the concept is, okay, if you can Patrick-proof your defense so that he can't beat you, well, nobody else is going to be able to beat you either. So you build your defense like that. And honestly, a lot of defenses, they're not built right now to stop the run.
Well,
which is why teams that run the football effectively are able to do it because teams aren't worrying about the run.
That's one of my worries with the Bills as to why, again, I picked the Jags to win the AFCs because I thought they were playing the best, but the worst matchup was the Bills because of Josh Allen. But the reason I picked the Jags to win that specific game is that the Bills' defense is built to stop the Chiefs. The Jags don't play like the Chiefs. The Jags run the football. They get under center. The Chiefs are spreading it out, running the quick passes. 76% of Patrick Mahomes this year, he has seen light boxes. The Bills are smaller, faster across the board. They built their defense to stop the Chiefs because that was their main opponent. Well, it didn't help them because the defense wasn't good enough when they got up against some other teams, and it's why they were the 6th seed and why they had to go to Jacksonville and then go to Denver. Because the league had sort of changed. Why they lost to the Patriots and almost lost to them again. It's because the league had sort of changed the way they built their team. The Bengals built their defense to stop nobody, but they built their team to, we're going to score, because we're going to outscore the Chiefs now. Okay, we're not going to be somebody that scores 20 points in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs on the road. That's not going to happen. If the Chiefs are going to beat us, they better score in the 30s. Most teams are going to score in the 30s because we're not really good on defense. But teams have built the last 4, 5, 6 years in a way, especially in the AFC, and how do you stop the Chiefs? And now we're seeing the teams that have built specifically and have been good to stop the Chiefs are the ones that aren't succeeding necessarily versus the teams that are saying, we don't have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. So we have to do a lot of other things really well until we find our Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. Okay, we haven't found them. Maybe we found somebody that's good enough to help us get over the hump because we've got everything else. Okay, we've got Bo Nix instead of Russell Wilson. Okay, we've got Justin Herbert to be able to do that. We've got some other guys here or there to help us get over the hump. And then some guys aren't good enough, like a C.J. Stroud.
And I've just said for a long time, it's why linebackers have become lighter, obviously, because they're now focusing on pass coverage. You see way more, nickel and dime instead of the traditional 4-3. You see your defensive tackles now, instead of being run stuffers. Again, instead of Mike Pinnells, they're more Chris Jones type of guys. So yeah, that's going to allow running lanes to be open, which is funny that the Chiefs defense has done the opposite. They said, we're going to, I know Nick Bolton's not the biggest linebacker, but what does he do? He's a run stopper. What's the Chiefs defensive line do outside of Chris Jones? They set the edge and they try and stop the run. It's really funny. Teams have been built to stop KC, while the Chiefs defense has been built to stop other teams because they're the ones that have Patrick Mahomes. I push back on your unicorn running back conversation a little bit.
Because you think Pacheco is the unicorn? Is that
no,
right?
but I think there's 40 running backs in the NFL at any given time, probably 40, that are viable NFL running backs. The issue was the Chiefs had none of them outside of a Kareem Hunt for short yardage situations. And so, you look at the Bears, I don't think anyone going into this year said, yeah, you know what? Kyle Monungai and DeAndre Swift are going to combine to be a great running attack. Well, they were. Atlanta has two guys in Tyler Algier who went over 1,000 yards as a rookie, and then you have Bijan Robinson. You have David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit. You have Kyron Williams out there with the Rams. I mean, I think there's literally probably 40 guys you could go and say, hey, in most offenses, they can find success. The issue is the Chiefs' offensive run scheme is atrocious, and two, they don't have one of the 40 guys that could get it done.
Here's where I'm going to push back and say that you actually helped me prove my point.
Ooh.
Which is that there's a lot there. You put it the right way, which is why I've been talking about with the Chiefs, especially with the fact that they have zero salary cap space. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
If they want to be better in 2026, I mean, they're going to have to moneyball it a little bit. And to me, what I'm talking about that with the run game is that if you want to be a playoff team, you need one or two guys in your backfield that can get you 1,500 yards rushing, roughly. And you're going to get
Combined
more
or
combined.
Yeah.
If you can get one guy that can get you all the way there, great. You got yourself a workhorse. You got yourself a Saquon. You got yourself an Ezekiel Elliott in his prime. Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you could have me as your number 2 running back if you got Jonathan Taylor. And well, you weren't a playoff team this year, but you could be.
I think they're happy. I think they're happy with DJ Giddens as their backup. But whatever.
They probably wouldn't take a hard look at me.
But short yardage situation.
They wouldn't take a hard look. But
that's a good point.
But the Chiefs, at best, had a number 2 running back this year. They don't have a number 1.
Right.
That's the problem. Is that you can do that.
They had a specialist only. They had a short yardage back only.
You can get to 1,500. You can get to 1,800 yards, which I think that's where I feel like you need to be in that range at least. I mean, the higher the better. But the Patriots got there with 2 guys. They got 1,500 yards rushing out of 2 guys. The Bears, another team, gets their 1,500. The Lions, Atlanta, you get all of these teams are getting their 1,500 yards or 1,800 yards, even better. But they're doing it with 2 guys. Well, that's fine as long as you've got 2 guys. And if you're the Chiefs, as long as you can buy 2 guys that are going to get you, 15, 16, 1,800 yards, you're taken care of. It's just that right now you don't have those 2 guys. You maybe have that number 2 guy, but you don't have the number 1 guy.
I don't think they have the number 2 guy. I think they literally only have a specialist in Kareem. I don't think Isaiah Pacheco is a backup running back in the NFL.
I would agree. I think they have a number 3 guy, but they don't have a 1 or a 2. Could Brashard Smith be a 2? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs don't know either, because when Andy Reid asked what he is, he's like, okay, he went a receiver or a running back. He said both. That's not the right answer you want to hear.
And I think the hope is that if you are going to add in some of the Ben Johnson under center run scheme, have a better coached running back position with Eric Bieniemy being that part of his specialty is the running backs, just as Spagnuolo is the defensive coordinator, but the secondary is his specialist or specialty. If the specialty for your OC is the running backs, if they are coached a little bit better, again, I've gone back to the many clips that Mitchell Schwartz has put out about his frustration with the running game. And look, this is blocked a certain way. Why is the running back doing this? Why did he take this angle there? Especially when this is a first 15 scripted play. This is exactly the way they blocked it correctly, and the running back went off script. Why? What's the point of that? And Mitchell Schwartz is saying, I don't know. And Kelsey and Jawan Taylor on that play are looking around going, what happened? Why everything worked perfectly? Why did somebody met? And then you watch it in film probably and go, what the bleep are you doing, dude? Why didn't you do this over there? That hole was wide open. So if it is coached better, do they have a number 2 in Pacheco? Would they have had a number 2 in Pacheco this year if it was coached better in a different sort of way, like a Ben Johnson, how he was using the running game with we talk attention to detail, things like that, with the attention to detail of the running back, that you're not just going to freelance here. This is the correct angle. You took that too sharp. You took that too wide. This is the angle, and we're not going to accept anything less than you taking that specific angle on this particular run. Do they have a number 2 in Pacheco that will essentially get probably what's blocked for you, maybe a little bit more if he can hit a guy and fall forward for 2 or 3 yards. But they don't, even with Pacheco, if that was the case, they don't have a number 1. I think what they did in 2022 with Pacheco was showing that Pacheco can be a pretty good number 2 if he's used in a system that is efficient and working well.
And prior to injury.
And prior to injury, right, correct. I think the hope is that you can combine that the coaching and some of the scheme can be updated while getting a better running back than Pacheco, which would then create wow, why does the running game look so different? Well, I think they did 2 things. They got a better running back than Pacheco, and they probably took some schemes and some things and some coaching that would have made Pacheco better, but it's now happening with a better running back already. That's certainly the hope from the outside looking in.
And here's the thing that the Chiefs really struggle with right now. And this is it's not the only thing, but I don't know how in this league anymore you can survive in your run game if you don't have a running back that occasionally can just bust one out. And I'm not talking about 14 yards. I'm talking about 50. I'm talking about 75.
Yeah.
You need that guy with some explosiveness. The Chiefs in Pacheco and Kareem, they've got 2 guys who can make a linebacker miss. They've got nobody that can make a third guy miss. There's nobody that can bust past the secondary. That's what you need. Now, Brashard Smith, does he have that skill set? I mean, yeah, we saw it in training camp. I mean, he's got the skill set to make guys in the secondary miss. It's just that right now he doesn't have the skill set to be able to make somebody miss at the second level, at the linebacker level, to be able to get to the third level.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit. Oh man, Joe versus the Volcano was a great movie.
I never saw it.
Great movie, and there's a line in there that Dan Hedaya has. He's just saying throughout the entire film, talking to somebody on the phone. He's like, "I know he can do the job, but can he get the job? I know he can do the job, but can he get the job?"
Which in the NFL, typically what we see often is, I know he can get the job, but I'm not sure he can do the job.
I know that Brashard Smith can beat the third level, but can he get to the third level?
That's a good way of putting it. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling. We will talk with Matt Derrick about what he thinks of EB and Chad O'Shea, and if that combination brings anything different, what the Chiefs can do, how much the defense should be part of the overall conversation of what happened this last year to end up 6-11. We'll talk about those things and more. More Zone coming up next. All right, hanging out here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Matt Derrick with us on this Friday edition. Before the Arctic wave comes in for the weekend, and boy, I joked about this with Field Yates yesterday, Matt, and I said, it's almost like Mother Nature is just assuming the Chiefs are in the playoffs, because a couple of weeks ago during the week it was really nice, and then last weekend it got down to negative temperatures with the feels like. This week it's been nice. Now it's getting into the snow and ice and wind chill. It's like Mother Nature was like, oh, I thought the Chiefs were playing.
Yeah.
My bad. I won't do that again. I just assumed the Chiefs were playing. We're going to make it negative temperature there and not 40 degrees and nice for you guys. It's like, hey, Mother Nature, they're out of the playoffs. Give us a break on the weekends. That'd be nice. Instead, we're all going to be hunkered up and watching college basketball and 2 football games on Sunday,
And I don't know what you're all complaining about out here, because I left Liberty, God's country, at 10 a.m.
Oh, Lee Summit, you were there?
And it was 4 degrees. I pull into Overland Park and it's 10. I mean, a balmy 10
That's
degrees.
a good point. Yeah, it is beautiful down
Feels
here.
like -8 though.
Yeah, you might as well just be going right to the beach here.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Is that why
this
you had
is-
your shirt off when you came in? It was painted.
There you go. Yeah, that's
Painted
me.
chest
on.
for the
That's
show.
me.
It just says the zone.
What was the weekend before New Year's? So I guess it was that Sunday after Christmas. Yes, Sunday after Christmas, right? The Sunday before Christmas, or in the middle of Christmas and New Year's, when it went from like 70 degrees to 20 overnight, right around here.
Oh, yeah, that was
that day.
brutal, yeah.
We left Louisville that morning, and I was loading the car, sweating because it was like 75 degrees, and I'm out and getting everything in. We left there. And by the time we arrived in Kansas City, it was 20 degrees. Like, my wife just kept taking pictures of the thermometer on the car as we're getting closer. Like, oh, it's down to 40 now. Oh, it's down to 35. Oh, now it's 30. It's 25 degrees. Oh, it's 20 degrees when we arrive.
You know what's hard? And I know this is like first world problems. And
Total first world problems.
I know what you did there.
Oh,
yeah, you know what's hard?
Michael already did that.
It's already marked.
Yeah, I mean, but anyway, go
Heartland
ahead.
Men's Health. No, I was in Florida that morning. It was 85 degrees.
right,
and we got on, you get on the plane on the tarmac. It's a small...
So you were in a private plane? Good for you.
No, not private. It's Allegiant, dude. So come on.
Yeah.
It's Allegiant. No, that is not private. They don't even have Wi-Fi on that bad boy. I can't even check
Oh, man.
anything.
Boy, first
You
world
gotta
problem.
pay for like waters and stuff on that thing, but it was fine.
How'd you
Lucky you weren't strapped to the wing.
How'd you survive?
Yeah, I'm lucky I wasn't the pilot.
How'd you survive, dude?
It was actually a great experience. I recommend it because I got off the tarmac. It was awesome. But it's 85 degrees, 90 degrees, and what am I supposed to wear? Well, you're like, either do I wear a
pants.
jacket?
Wear long pants.
So you get to see my knees, and then I landed during the snowstorm, that first one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I went from 85 to 90 and sunny on the tarmac, and now I'm in a snowstorm. I was frozen when I landed. You know when you like get and you have the thing that comes down and you get off, but there's like a gap in the
jetway?
The
Yep.
jetway.
Fell off the jetway.
Dude,
man.
I was frozen solid. It was horrible.
I don't think you were. The irony of this whole weekend is that the country is going to be under snow and ice, but Denver is going to be 25 degrees and clear for the AFC Championship. Boston's not going to be able to move because they're going to be under 1.5 foot of snow because they're going to get hit hard. And Denver's like, snow? What are you guys even talking about? It's a feels like temperature of 17. We're showing up in shorts and a t-shirt here in Denver in January. Feels like 17? That's 15 degrees nicer than it typically is. The irony of that being the place that is going to be clear and sunny to a degree. Eric Bieniemy's returning. Not necessarily a sunny disposition around the practice facility or anything, but there is a glowing common sentiment from former players about what they think of Eric Bieniemy returning. It is a mixed bag in terms of reaction around here with Eric Bieniemy returning.
Is it?
It's been
in the building, or
it's crazy around the kingdom, as they would call it. I understand the mixed bag. I understand why some are excited or frustrated or mad, whatever. Matt, is this as some would say, Mitchell Schwartz said this would be the best case scenario if they didn't go outside and get Mike McDaniel. Tim Grunhard said this is the best that Andy Reid could do. by bringing this guy back. Is that closer to the reality, or is it, no, this is just Andy Reid doing what he's doing and refusing to sort of adjust and goes with the guy he's comfortable with and somebody that won't offer pushback and just says, okay, well, Andy's got 51%, so I guess then it's 51% and it's Andy's, show. Where do you fall on the what seem to be opposite ends of the feeling of what Eric Bieniemy can bring to the table?
My short answer to the question is yes.
Yes. Makes sense. We'll be back right after this.
I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't heard a lot of negative reaction from Chiefs fans about this. I mean,
Interesting.
About the worst pushback I've heard is just a little bit of, well, just going back to the old stuff might not work. Because it honestly, and I don't know. I mean, it seems like obviously, again, it's Kansas City's offensive coordinator is the old situation of, hey, the guy you have right now is the worst guy ever, and anybody else is great.
People hated Eric Bieniemy, their number one offense.
Well, and that's the thing is that you go back to and you think about the fact about how much concern there was about these, supposed blow-ups between that you saw on camera on the sidelines between him and Kelsey and Mahomes.
Now that's what those people want to have happen.
Yeah.
And
to an extent.
Yeah.
And I mean, even though all the players involved in it, and I say players, meaning both players and coaches involved in it, said the right things at the time. Hey, we're just all competitive, we're all emotional, and everything like this. Hey, we all love each other, and even though it took Mahomes a little while before he posted it on his socials, which I thought was notable.
I think I think the silence was very loud by Mahomes.
And he Mahomes rattled off like 3 things he wanted in an offensive coordinator last week.
I think maybe you don't realize what you have until it's gone. Maybe
check 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, but at the same time, hey, is Andy Reid just bringing in people that he doesn't think is going to get any pushback? I don't think so, because I think EB probably pushed back. I mean, the offense was different with EB, so there's going to be that. I mean, they're going to do things a little bit differently. But another thing that they did that was noticeable under EB is that, honestly, I mean, this is, and maybe this goes with just the kind of coach that EB is, because it's not that Matt Nagy also didn't preach attention to details and execution. He did too. But EB does it in a different way. And let's face it, I mean, there might be some players on this current offense that might not respond under EB. There may be players who do respond and are better under EB. I mean, that's just going to be, I think, par for the course.
I think if you find a player that doesn't respond under EB, I think you find part of the problem as to what's happened the last couple of years.
100%. Yes. And here was the whole problem the entire time with trying to bring anybody like a Mike McDaniel in or anything of this nature. You get to it. Andy Reid's got 51%. Mm-hmm. No one who's just been a head coach, no one who's their own guy in that regard, and Mike McDaniel is probably the poster child for that, is going to come in when they don't have 51%. They don't want to come in and have 49. So I don't think you ever had a chance in a conversation like that. Whereas, hey, going to the Chargers, I mean, Jim Harbaugh seems like, Jim Harbaugh's the CEO. I mean, he's not, micromanaging either side of the football.
And to your point, it's why I kept saying I don't think the Chiefs' OC opening was as lucrative as some people made it out to be. I feel like it was a very specific opportunity. To an extent, you're a passing game coordinator or a QB coach, or because you're OC in title only.
Yeah.
To an extent,
you're OC in that you are helping the game plan.
You're an assistant OC.
You're leading the meetings and things like that, but you are not calling the plays.
You're the assistant to the OC.
Well, that's what's. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is just that. I mean, calling plays is so overrated.
As says a guy that's never done it.
Maybe.
Sounds like that's what somebody that's never been asked to call plays would say.
At least in today's NFL, with the Kansas City Chiefs as Andy Reid as your OC, calling plays is totally overrated. Because, we've seen the process. Right now, the way it's been the last couple of years, Matt Nagy's calling the plays. However you want to, dictate calling the plays.
Oh, yeah, well, he's not choosing the plays.
But here's the thing, is that on game day, Chiefs are going to say they're going to run 70 plays. 68 of them may have already been decided by Saturday what they're going to run in each situation.
In some specific, it's second and short, medium.
You see that play sheet that's got everything on both sides. Remember, that's just offense that Andy Reid's carrying. He's not carrying around the defensive play sheet. That's just offensive play sheet. It's like 11 by 17, laminated, everything like this.
It's a Waffle House
on both sides. Beyond Waffle House, it's like
Cheesecake Factory.
It's like a Cheesecake Factory. Yeah. Exactly.
On one sheet.
If the Cheesecake Factory came on one sheet laminated, that would be.
Why are there ads on it? I've always been confused.
Because Quick Trip's like, look what we did with the Royals, Andy. You're missing an opportunity here, Chiefs.
But in addition to your script on there, which once again only covers like first and second downs, then you're going to get into your third down plays. Well, it's also third short, third and medium, third and long. Right hash, left hash, what you're going to call in each one of these situations. And almost any situation that the Chiefs are going to have on game day, they've already discussed on Friday and Saturday, what are you going to call in these situations? What does Mahomes want in these situations? What about Wasp is like the outlier. That's just that's not commonplace. That's why it was such a big deal, and why they put it on NFL Films, because it doesn't happen all the time.
And it's why I think it was so interesting hearing Kurt Cignetti on Monday night talk about the fourth down call, 4th and 5 or 4th and 4, the quarterback sneak, in that he said, we had fourth and we had red, low red, fourth and medium. And he said, we spent 45 minutes on this play and how we were going to block it differently than we have before. So to your point, there's a very specific spot where they've got a couple of plays on low red, fourth and medium. These are the plays. And the reason we spent 45 minutes on this particular play is because there's probably 3 or 4 here that we're going to discuss, and low red, fourth and medium is probably a big freaking call, so we better spend some time on getting the call right, getting the play right as to how we're going to do it, because if this is the look we see from Miami, it's the look we're seeing because they're expecting us to do it this way. So we are going to change how we block this. What are we going to do? Now, he still had to break the tackle of the linebacker, but he already had the first down by the time he broke the tackle of the linebacker. To your point, it's so segmented of here's second, third, which is why you'll see a coach that when they run a play, it'll go over to the coach and they're taking a note or they're writing something down. That's not, it worked there. No, this specific play in this situation, they played it this way. I'm going to take a note for maybe later in the game if I come back to that. I think it's a really good point. And the interesting part about like Matt Nagy as a complete and total aside is if Matt Nagy is just an offensive coordinator, it'll be a different job than he's ever had. Because in Kansas City, he was the OC while Andy Reid was 51%. Chicago, he was the OC, but he was the head coach. He had to be the head coach and the play caller until he gave up play calling duties, and then he was the head coach. If he gets an OC somewhere, now he's just an actual offensive coordinator, calling the plays, coordinating the offense, not having to be the head coach of everything. It would be the first time in his life that he's just a typical offensive coordinator, which is why I can see why that would be something that he would want to pursue, even if he doesn't get a head coaching job, to be an offensive coordinator, because it's also something quite literally he hasn't done in his career, is to be just a typical offensive coordinator. I can see why that would be enticing to leave Kansas City, go somewhere else and say, I want to run my offense as the guy, as the play caller, and not also have to be the head coach while I'm doing that. If I'm the head coach, badass. That's what I want to do. That's great. But if not, I at least want to be an offensive coordinator somewhere, which is why I think, Matt, most everybody kind of heard behind the scenes that this was the final year for Matt Nagy anyway, and at the end of the season, they were going to go their separate ways, maybe mutually, but go their separate ways, which is why it's like, well, wow, the Chiefs have moved on from Matt Nagy. He didn't get the Tennessee Titans job. I bet they thought he was going to get the job. That's why they hired Eric Bieniemy. No, they had already decided they were moving on, and the Chiefs moved on to find somebody else because Matt Nagy was, I'll be a head coach. If not, I'll be an offensive coordinator somewhere because I just want my offense.
And you mentioned in there, too, I mean, and Sterling first brought it up and everything about maybe how lucrative the OC job is in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's face it, none of these NFL teams, got where they are and their owners by writing a lot of checks. And there's not a cap for coaches, but if you're in Kansas City, I mean, you've been talking about everybody who's going to be the highest paid coach, like John Harbaugh is getting Andy Reid money. So, they're talking about Andy Reid's making like $20 million a year, supposedly. Mm-hmm. We don't really know, coach money, but that's the word. Spags is supposedly one of, if not the highest paid
high,
defensive coordinators at like $10 million a year.
Yeah,
So, hey, if you're the Chiefs, nobody's paying all of their coaches and coordinators top dollar every spot. I mean, you're doing that and you want to make some money and you don't want to, blow a lot of money. You're going to save some money somewhere. I mean, when you're paying your quarterback, you got an $80 million cap hit on your quarterback, you're going to have a $800,000, third safety.
Yeah.
So sometimes it means you're going to have an $800,000 starting safety.
Yeah, true.
So hey, that's what your offensive coordinator is. You know? So
let's take a timeout. We'll come back on the other side of the break. I want to bring up with Matt a discussion we had last Friday that I think the Chad O'Shea news sort of shows us that the discussion we had was kind of reality with what the Chiefs were facing. We'll talk about that next. All right, we continue with Matt Derrick here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. Mick Schaefer joins us coming up later on in the noon hour. We've got the cuts before the show is over. We'll go through what we think will happen in the conference championship games. Matt, Chad O'Shea is the wide receivers coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. It has not been made official yet. Eric Bieniemy was made official 3 days after it was reported Monday, and then Thursday they made it official. Chad O'Shea is yet to be official, which tells me one thing and one thing only. Both of those reports getting out came from the not Chiefs side. It absolutely came from the, I'm guessing it probably came from maybe not EB, but from the Bears looking for a running back coach. And then it was like, hold on, why are they looking for a running backs coach? Eric Bieniemy, what's going on with this? Ben Johnson, well, we're looking for a running backs coach because Eric Bieniemy's the OC with the Chiefs. He's already been hired. Oh, okay.
And agreed to a contract, but yeah.
Yes, I think that's part of it. I think the Chad O'Shea part came out from that side of it, so that it will be known that Chad O'Shea was not wanted by Stefanski in Atlanta, that he was given here's the job, take it or leave it right now. We're not waiting around for you to decide if Kevin Stefanski gets a job. Chad O'Shea's been the wide receivers coach for not 3 days. It was before Stefanski got the job in Atlanta that Chad O'Shea was the wide receivers coach for the Chiefs. So that didn't happen just on Tuesday when that came out. But we talked about last week, Matt, and maybe we can get into a more extensive conversation on the other side, but we talked about last week, Chiefs have been playing the last, or a couple times, second to last game of the season for 7 straight years. That when the season is over, these moves have been made, and you don't really have your pick of the litter to choose from. And from everything I've been told about how the Chad O'Shea hiring went down, and I very, very much trust the multiple people that I've talked to about and saying the same thing and how it came together. He was tops of their list of one of the guys they wanted to talk to him, people around the league. You get the job, Chad. But this is early in the cycle. We need to know now. We're not going to wait around because you can go with Stefanski if he gets a job. It's Chiefs, or we're moving on to somebody else. Because they had an opportunity they haven't had in the past, which is we can go out and get a guy right now before OCs are hired and other assistant coaches are hired. We kind of get our pick of the number one guy we want, which is you. But we're not waiting around for you to say, oh, I'll take the job from you. This is the Chiefs. We ain't some also-ran. You get to work with Patrick Mahomes and the wide receivers and Andy Reid, or you can wait around and see where Stefanski ends up. And so Chad O'Shea took the job.
Yeah.
But it's what we talked about last week is they haven't had this opportunity.
No, I mean, they haven't. So when they've been to the point where they're getting ready to put together staffs, I mean, staffs are almost all put together. If you get, I mean, because remember, we're still, February 9th is Monday after the Super Bowl. Carry the one denominator. I mean, we're like 17 days away.
Yeah.
I mean, and
it's a good point
from when the Chiefs would be normally. I mean, even thinking about the possibility of putting together a staff, and that's assuming that nobody's hung over and drunk from Super Bowl celebration. You might have to wait until Friday before everybody's sober.
That's probably a better assumption there. Yeah.
So, I mean, unless you just have somebody. Hey, you know what? Whatever happens to the game tonight, you're the designated. Caller, you're the designated job offerer, so you're designated HR. So tomorrow, soon as this game's over, start calling some coaches. But everyone else has jobs.
Yes.
So unless you're going to steal somebody from college, or you're going to hire somebody who's unemployed,
or somebody that is not coaching in the NFL at that particular position, Todd Pinkston, or somebody that's just advancing through the ranks with your job, like a Connor Embry,
coaching high school. Yeah.
So I do think that goes right along with part of the theory of, they've stayed with the coach in continuity because their assistant coaches haven't been grabbed from other teams because they're still coaching, and the Chiefs haven't turned over their assistant coaches because the assistant coaches they may want to go out and get that would be an upgrade have already agreed to contracts with their teams while you're playing football. That wasn't the case here. From all indications, they got the guy they wanted. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcia. Matt Derrick is going to hang out with us for one more segment because he is just a fantastic human being.
There's more he needs to digest about the Chiefs.
And also, he wants to stay in the warmth of the South before driving up to the Arctic.
100%. Exactly.
So I want to play this clip because, you know, I had mentioned, we talked there at the end of that segment about Chad O'Shea being with the Chiefs and what I was told and looked into as to why he didn't join Stefanski in Atlanta. And the simple answer is he would be in Atlanta as the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach if the Chiefs didn't already hire him. It was last week, Chiefs told Chad O'Shea, accept the job or we're moving on. We're not going to wait for you to decide on Atlanta. I was also told that Chad O'Shea did not only have the Chiefs that were reaching out. So there were multiple.
He's considered widely to be one of, if not like the three best wide receiver coaches in the league. So it makes sense.
There were also, I was told, a couple of people who didn't have an OC job yet, that if they got an OC job, they were going to call him. He was going to be a guy they wanted to bring in. So it wasn't for a lack of opportunity. But getting to work with the Chiefs was like, I'm not turning down an opportunity with the Chiefs on the chance Stefanski gets a job, I go with him to a place I want to be and that I really like, that we can succeed. It's not worth the risk. If the Jets were offering me the wide receiver coach and you know, working with the passing game, I might say I think I'll take my chances. Here's what Jeremy Fowler had to say on Wednesday. This is a quick clip. He was just talking about Chad O'Shea, but he dropped a little nugget in there that something that I was also told, which I'm going to ask Matt what it means and what it could mean for the Chiefs offense. Here's Jeremy Fowler on New Day on Wednesday talking about O'Shea.
Chad O'Shea will be the wide receivers coach, and he'll work with Joe Blameyer, who's the pass game coordinator.
He went on to talk about the different things that O'Shea has done in the past. It was a quick little, I can confirm, because at that point, I think Steven said, well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. There are reports out there, and Jeremy Fowler said, I can confirm. He's the wide receivers coach, and he'll be working with Joe Blameyer, the pass game coordinator. The pass game coordinator, which echoes what I was told as well. If it was just wide receivers coach, he's not with the Chiefs. It's wide receivers coach and working with the pass game coordination with Joe Blameyer. So he's not just coaching Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. He's now working directly with Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback in the pass game. So that stood out to me from Jeremy Fowler and matches up with the things that I was told about Chad O'Shea. He's not just the wide receivers coach. He will be intricately involved with the passing game and the coordination there. He's been with Stefanski. Matt, what does that mean for the Chiefs? And maybe what does it mean from Andy Reid's perspective that he's bringing in somebody to work with the pass game coordination that isn't a part of his system?
Yeah, I mean, and let's put a pin in it too, because I mean, staffs aren't complete. We don't know, and there might be some guys who go with Matt Nagy if and wherever he lands.
That's a good point. Blameyer may be his. If Matt Nagy gets a head coach, Blameyer may be his OC.
Exactly, and
interesting.
If that's the case, then maybe
you've got your pass game coordinator.
Maybe you already have a pass game coordinator on the squad.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. But when we talked about what do the Chiefs need in a wide receivers coach to replace Connor Embry, I mean, experience was one. That's great. And Chad O'Shea's got the experience. Yeah. He's been around the block a few times and everything. The only thing he doesn't tick the box for me was he was a former player, played the position and everything. I mean, he was an NFL player, played quarterback, but he's been a wide receivers coach long enough that doesn't worry me at all. But the one thing that he's got, and the other thing that EB is bringing in too, it's the rings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because
3 of them.
Exactly.
EB's got 2. He's got 3.
Because you look at that Chiefs wide receiver room and the guys who are coming back, and especially the veterans, and hey, Juju's not signed, Tyquan Thornton's not signed, so you start looking at the guys who are going to be back on this team, that are the younger guys you're coming in to coach. Rashee Rice has one. I mean, I'm not going to give him the second one because he was on the. Actually, I'm trying to. No, I think he's got two.
He's got two. He's got two.
One of them he didn't.
Played in the 49ers.
He didn't really play.
Played in the Eagles. Didn't play in the 49ers.
So I mean, no offense. I mean, he was injured and everything like that. So I'm not degrading him, but
no, he played in the 49ers. So
he was a rookie in 23. So
he played in the 49ers.
He's only won one.
He's only won one.
Right, but he played in the 49ers game, right? Yeah, and then lost in the Eagles. Right.
Yeah.
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 So
He
he's
only
got
has
the
one.
one.
Yeah,
because
you guys were
one.
confusing the bleep out of me right there.
Right now, because I'm like,
He's
wait
got
a
the
minute.
one and he didn't play it.
His
Yeah.
rookie.
How old do you think this guy is?
No, but I'm like because I'm like, wait a minute.
I know he's done a lot of things that make you think it's older. I'm sure that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to.
the Chiefs
was thinking,
in the
like
Super Bowl
he
almost
didn't
every
play.
year.
He didn't play in a Super Bowl, but he didn't play in a Super Bowl in that they lost.
Right.
So he played in the 49ers one because I remember him bitching about not getting the ball on the last play before the field goal that tied it up to go to overtime. Anyway, go ahead.
So one Super Bowl in that room, one Super Bowl ring in that room, and Chad O'Shea's got 3.
Yeah.
So and that the ability to just walk into that room, and I'm not saying he's going to, but he should walk into that room and do exactly what Sterling did. For those of you who are on the video, tap the rings on the table.
Yep.
And say, guys, I got 3 of these mofo's.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't really have any. You know, that Rasheed, I mean, that's nice and all, but you didn't play on the field. You know what it's like to win that.
Yeah.
You want to watch it, but you didn't get to see what it wins. You want to win.
Rice played in that one.
Yeah.
Rice played in the 49ers game, the one they won.
I guess he did. Gosh,
Yeah,
I keep
no.
getting my
You're
years
good,
off
you're
and
good,
everything.
you're-
I know.
you're good.
I mean,
No, no.
So the year was
listen,
1994.
you've got
Yeah.
you've got one.
You've got one.
You got
You've
one.
got one.
You
You're
guys
rookie.
got one.
You've got one.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
played in that one.
You actually played in that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, you played in that one. But I got 3 of these.
I got 3 of them. Yeah.
And if you want to win more of them, because you guys went 6-11, I haven't gone 6-11 like that. Not with. I mean, I guess he went.
Well,
something
come
like
on now,
Stefanski.
Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not with when I was
still
with the
say it.
Patriots.
Max,
Matt, you're hurting your points right here.
I'm kind of hurting my points a little bit. Yeah.
Well, he
yeah.
doesn't have to. He doesn't have to just. I mean, he can walk in, and I
and-
think his reputation will precede him.
And here's the okay, sidetrack here.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski, you know what he's going to do next year? He's going to win the freaking Coach of the Year
Yeah, he
award
is, for the third
because he's
time.
going to take a 500 team
third time.
and probably win like 10 games. And guys, people are going to say, "Hey, he went from fired to 10 games. This guy's a freaking genius."
And the Browns will
Just-
be the Browns.
And the Browns are going to be the Browns because I mean, yeah, they're the Browns. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, Chad O'Shea is walking into the Chiefs and going, "Look, Andy, I get it. You're a good coach. You've got 1 Coach of the Year award. I've worked with Kevin Stefanski. He's got 2 Coach of the Year awards.
He has double, 2 times the amount.
Let me tell you what it's like to be a head coach, okay,
There
from
you
the
go.
Coach of the Year. But I do want to know how much do we think Chad O'Shea will influence the offensive passing game because, Andy, this is not the same old, same old. I'm sorry, this is not the same old Andy. People can argue that or say that. He did not bring somebody in. Mike Kafka's not his passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach. It's not the same Andy Reid stuff. O'Shea and Andy have not crossed paths. They don't have a history of working together or working in that scheme together. So he's bringing a different style and a different passing game. There's only so many routes and things that you can do, but how Stefanski would run things, he's bringing that to the passing game with the Chiefs. That is not Andy Reid going, I'm just going with what's comfortable, right? I mean, that seems to be going outside of what the system that I've always run is, bringing in fresh new ideas.
Fresh new ideas. Yeah, and to me, it's like you look at some of the receivers that Chad O'Shea has worked with and developed and draw comparisons to what he has in Kansas City and what these guys can do. I mean, and a quick one to me is, Julian Edelman.
Edelman, yeah.
And probably, I mean, if you're the Chiefs, probably needs to be Rasheed Rice. I mean, if Rasheed Rice has looked like has looked more comfortable in the slot than just about anywhere else that he has played. And tell you what, I mean, you turned Rasheed Rice into just a bigger Julian Edelman. Mm-hmm. I think you'd have something. Now, if your Chiefs need to go out and get yourself an X receiver because the Worthy's better equipped to be the Z and everything, you do that, you're making up a pretty good offense here. I mean, you just need to get the receivers in the right spots. And that's a little bit of, I think, how you have to put that room together is just get guys doing what they're good at.
I wonder if, this is totally as a aside, how much Jawan Jennings would go for. I mean, because He was supposed to be like he's going to be a big power slot. Instead, he's been an X for the 49ers. Now, I'm just saying that might be a more affordable route to move Rice to the power slot, but then you could also mix and match, and Jennings could run there. But it's a total complete and aside of that we'll get into when free agency gets here. Sorry.
This is just one of the, because I'm not right very often, but every once in a while I nail things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sterling.
What'd you get right?
I wanted the Chiefs last year to sign Juwan Jennings to an offer sheet when he was a restricted free agent. It's like, go out. I mean, I don't care if you're giving up compensation. Go get the dude.
Yeah.
He's going to make your room better.
Yep. And I don't know how much he'll go for this year.
A lot more than he would have on an offer sheet last year.
It's a good
49ers
call.
might have matched it.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so at least you were saying, you're going to make a run at somebody like that.
Two things I got right last year. I would have gone after him on an offer sheet, and my free agent running back would have been Javonte Williams.
Yeah, you were on Javonte Williams. You wanted them to bring him in.
I also
I told everybody how amazing Elijah Mitchell was going to be. No, I didn't.
I also favored Deshaun Watson over Patrick Mahomes. So I have that going for me.
You and Sterling.
No. I thought that's who they were going to get. Whoa.
Oh, but I said that saying that I thought Deshaun Williams was the next
Deshaun
Alex
Watson?
Smith. Yes, Deshaun Watson. Yeah.
No Ayuk though, please. Just.
no,
no. That with the
I've seen too many people on Twitter say he'll do a prove it deal.
No.
That guy will not play on a prove it deal. That guy didn't prove it on a $30 million contract.
He might do it on a prove it deal, but he's not doing it on a real deal. No.
That guy, this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It's not like San Francisco's known for being like this was like the Browns, the Jets. You'd be like, okay, what's going on behind the scenes?
Like Kadarius Toney was like, well, the Giants organization is ridiculous. Let's see what he does with the Chiefs. Okay, maybe it was Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
The whole time. I'd rather them bring in Keon Coleman than Brandon Ayuk.
I would agree.
I'd rather go that route. I don't want to deal with Ayuk.
If we're going to draw some comparisons, though, too, if you're the Chiefs and you're watching that scenario play out, what's your thought about signing Rashee Rice?
About number 4, yeah. Yeah, what are your thoughts
deal.
about that guy?
You can't.
If that's somebody, I mean, you
literally can't because
I'm with you.
You can't trust him.
I'm not signing him this offseason. I'm not giving him any. The only way I would give him an extension this offseason, and I've heard you mention this before, Matt, is if they come to some sort of agreement that wouldn't be to the level of what Tyreek's first contract extension in Kansas City was. It wouldn't be to that level because he's not Tyreek. But it would be something along those lines to where there's a middle ground of security for both sides. That Rashee Rice gets monetary security and the Chiefs get guaranteed dollars and able to get out of the contract security and not paying what would be a premium for somebody that has that level of what could be talent but unknown risk factors off the field. We're not going to do that. And good luck going into free agency to try to get that. This is probably the best you could do right now. I'd be okay if they went that tact. I would prefer them not even giving him an extension and going into this last year of his deal and see what happens. But if they're going to, it needs to be closer to the Tyreek where there's an easy out if anything happens and you're not breaking the bank to bring in somebody who would, without the off-the-field stuff, get a whole lot more money.
It was a 3-year, $54 million contract. Guaranteed at signing was $22.5, but the total guarantees was $35. So basically, 2 years guaranteed-ish, and if it would have gone sideways after year one, basically an expensive 1 year.
But not what they would have paid for him had the stuff off the field not been going on with
Which,
Tyreek.
again, brings up that question of what is Tyreek doing on Twitter, which makes you think that at least does he want to come back to KC, and will it be ready?
I think he would love to come back to Kansas City. Let's be honest. I don't know. I wouldn't bring him back, but I think he would love to.
I would entertain it. Why wouldn't you?
I would entertain
Why
it.
would
But
you're not bringing him back in the contract?
Yeah,
obviously.
but I don't know what his knee looks like. I mean, he destroyed his knee. I mean, it's not like a dislocated ankle. I mean, it was multiple.
I don't
tendons.
argue. I'm not saying he's your only.
It's not a dislocated ankle. It was a dislocated knee.
I'm not saying that's your only
in March.
Well, no, but I'm not saying it's your only move. I'm not saying like, oh, you bring in Tyreek, now it's all you do. Well, I don't think he's going to go for a lot. I think he's a great player. I think he's still when healthy, but everyone has the same book on him of how can you give him money with all the injuries? I don't know what his market's going to eat 2 for 20. How much is his I mean, he was on a $30 million contract.
I was going to ask him if you'd sign him on a Hollywood deal.
I think he's still going to get more than that.
He might.
Maybe.
I think he's still going to get more than that.
But here's the thing. I mean, if he gets more than that, I think it's going to be from the Browns or the Raiders or a team that does
The Odell
better.
Beckham Jr. situation where it
Yeah,
was. I get what you're saying.
exactly.
Yeah, but
I don't think a winning team's going to give him that contract.
I would, and this is probably me, just because I think that he's a hard enough worker that we've seen. He has a little bit of that Patrick of the I'm going to grind and I'm going to come back and I'm going to prove to you that I'm still the guy. I can still do all these things. I think 2 for 20 I'm 100% in on. 2 for 30 with like 20 guaranteed, so that way if it's horrible, you're basically just doing 1 for 20 and then you can get out for that second year. I think I'd do that.
I mean, and I will give the Chiefs credit on this. I mean, because they made the decision a few times. I mean, it's hard. I think the only one that I would point to and say that the Chiefs maybe got wrong a little bit was letting Trevarius Ward walk.
Yeah.
But you could also make the argument that Trevarius Ward was good, but the 49ers made him better. But everybody else, I mean, and Tyreek, I get it. He had 2 really good years in Miami. 1 great year and 2 really good years, at least in Miami, before year 3 when everything fell apart. And the Chiefs, I mean, almost called it perfectly. I mean, I was told, hey, the Chiefs were like, they knew in the first year in Miami he was going to blow up and just be huge. But they're like, he's a ticking time bomb after that, because then he's going to hit 30. You don't know what's going to happen.
I don't think. I mean, he's owed $36 million this year. He's not going to play on that contract. There's 0 chance he plays on that contract coming off the knee injury. None of that is guaranteed of the $36 million, so they can walk. Which is, when you talk about backloading the base salary, that when Tyreek said it was all funny money with the Chiefs, what they offered. Well, this is funny money too.
Yeah.
Because the $36 million base salary in this year inflated what the overall base salary was for your contract. This is non-guaranteed. Coming off the knee injury, there's 0 chance he plays on that contract. Now, he could work under a restructured contract, take a pay cut, or whoever's coming in to be the head coach is going to go, no, we're cutting that guy because I don't want to deal with the whole, I don't want to be here, I want to be here, whatever was going on at the end of the season when Mike McDaniel was here, I don't want to deal with it. And he's coming off a knee injury, so I don't even know what his value is. We're rebuilding, we're restructuring. Let's move on from Tyreek Hill, maybe trade Jalen Waddle and see if you can get and rebuild and start from scratch, because whoever's taken over there has the leeway and the freedom to do those things. Mike McDaniel staying there wouldn't have the leeway and the freedom to trade Jalen Waddle, move on from Tua, move on from Tyreek, because it's like, hold on, you were part of some of those things. Not Tua, but you were part of some of those things. But I think Tyreek's going to be playing for a different team next year, because I think if you're a new coach there, you're coming in and going, I don't know what happened, all of the drama at the end of 2024. And whatever's going on now with the knee injury, don't know. And the tweets that he's saying about going home and the Chiefs and Eric Bieniemy, don't know. But I don't want to deal with it.
Supposedly Miami was home, so.
Well, that too. Or maybe Atlanta's home. He's from Georgia. He's from right outside there. Also, I do think, with Chad O'Shea, the Julian Edelman is the one that's talked about a lot. Gronk gave a lot of credit for Julian Edelman for Chad O'Shea. But I went and looked through, because Browns fans were saying, oh, thank God. Enjoy it, Kansas City. Oh, thank God he's not going to be here in Cleveland anymore. And I'm like, you know what? The same thing that Chiefs fans probably said when Eric Bieniemy left. Same thing that Eagles fans told me constantly about when Andy Reid was taking over. Good luck. Thank God Andy Reid's not around here. Give him 3 years and you're going to hate him. Like, whatever. 3 Super Bowls, not 3 years. But just looking through what Chad O'Shea did in Cleveland with the specific wide receivers. He had Jarvis Landry, who had a good season, had Odell Beckham Jr., Amari Cooper had one of his best years in Cleveland. But those are the guys that you would maybe expect to have some good seasons. Elijah Moore, he's played 5 years in the league. His 2 best seasons were with the Cleveland Browns. In those 2 years, he combined 120 catches and 1,200 yards. The other 3 seasons, he's had 80 catches for 1,000 yards. The other 3 seasons with teams not named the Cleveland Browns. Jerry Jeudy goes from a guy that Denver's like, we can't get anything from this guy, we got to move on. So he goes to Cleveland and catches 90 passes for 1,200 yards with Chad O'Shea. Donovan Peoples-Jones, a 6th-round draft pick, played 4 years in the league, and his best years were with Chad O'Shea. The last year he played elsewhere, but his first 3 years, 14 catches, 300 yards, 36 catches, 600 yards, 61 catches, 850 yards in the 3 years that he worked with Chad O'Shea. Then they moved on from Donovan Peoples-Jones. The criticism of him from Cleveland Browns fans is 2021 third rounder Anthony Schwartz did nothing. 2022 third rounder David Bell did nothing. 2023 third rounder Cedric Tillman didn't do anything. 2024 fifth rounder Jamari Thrash hasn't done anything. So the complaint is that late day 2 or day 3 picks have not succeeded with Chad O'Shea. That's part of developing, right?
Sure.
That's taking somebody and developing them into a player. But I would say the hit rate on making those guys really good players is not great with fifth and late third rounders, because if you go back and look at those drafts, there weren't a bunch of guys picked after them that were like, wow, there were 4 guys that were all pros that were taken here. Like, you're getting like the 14th or 15th receiver at that point if you're talking about 5th or 6th round.
Well, and it has to be brought up. It's the Browns. They're not known as the pinnacle of drafting. And 2, who's throwing those guys the ball?
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good-
Dylan Gabriel.
10 different
Yeah,
quarterbacks in
started with
3
Baker.
years.
Started with
Sorry
Baker.
that Deshaun Kaiser and Dylan Gabriel couldn't get the ball to them, but we have no idea.
Yeah, well, he had Baker at the beginning,
Sure.
and then
But-
Stefanski moved on, which made Baker very happy.
Yeah, and in the last 3 years, they had that dude, was it Dorian Thompson,
Dorian Thompson, yeah,
Robinson,
DTR, baby.
started 2 games.
DTR, come on now.
And then you get Joe Flacco rolling in every once in a while, and
Yeah, just randomly.
randomly.
So the Chiefs ended last season with 11 losses, 8 of those with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. We talked about the inability to win close games a lot this last year, and I talked about defensively that they ended up with no saves. That a save is a defense out there, a chance to win the game with the lead, and the Chiefs went 0 for 4 in those spots on defense. In all 8 losses this year with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, they had a chance to lead. They either led in the fourth quarter or they had the ball with a chance to tie in all 8 games. But again, they had the lead in the fourth quarter in some of those. So where does the defense come into play here when we talk about so much of the offseason has been offense? Because I feel like while there's a love for Spags that is earned, it feels like the defense is they either get complimented or ignored. It's like they stepped up in 23 and 24 and helping that team get to the Super Bowl. Amazing. Good job, defense. They didn't win this year. It's because of the offense. The offense is the issue. They score a bunch of points, the Chiefs do. They lose 31-28 to the Cowboys. Well, defense has to not give up 31. Yeah, but the offense made a mistake here, and here, and they only scored 28 against the Cowboys. The offense has to be better. So if we compliment, Matt, the defense on them stepping up and being, boy, this felt like a defensive-style team in 23 and 24. Where's the area or level of accountability on the defensive side to be held to the standard of if Mahomes and the offense isn't playing well, it's a team game, they've got to come through. Are we just going to be watching Chiefs football, Matt, in the future and say it's always going to be on the offense, and if the defense plays well, good job defense, way to bail out the offense, and if the team plays well and the offense scores enough, it's the offense and the defense is along for the ride? I mean, can it be to a place where we go, yeah, Mahomes isn't playing well, but the defense sucked, and they lost the game because the defense did A, B, and C?
And in looking back at it, looking at the big picture and everything, to me, what stands out is that other than the Jacksonville game and maybe the Chargers game, and the Chargers game was interesting in particular because I think that it was a couple of plays that were key and everything like that.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville game was just kind of weird in general.
Yeah. And the chance to tie for
a lot of reasons.
The chance to tie for the Chargers game was they were down 8 early in the fourth quarter. They scored the touchdown but didn't get the 2-point conversion. So they were trailing 20-18 instead of being. That was the chance to tie in the fourth quarter for the Chiefs in that game. Go ahead.
But they were 2 different defenses between before the bye and after the bye, first half, second half of the season. I mean, they were actually pretty good in the first half of the season. I mean, obviously that's when they had the shutout of the Raiders, and I mean, you can say it was the Raiders. How many other teams shut out the Raiders? I mean, that's shutouts in the NFL are pretty rare these days. So this defense wasn't terrible. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much of the second half of the season was, hey, did everything else just catch up with this defense too? I mean, was it fatigue? Was it honestly the fact that the offense was terrible sometimes?
Yeah, and the offense didn't do a great job of putting them in a good spot.
I mean,
Chiefs and Eagles. You asked how many teams shut out the Raiders, too.
There you go.
Chiefs and Eagles.
There
The
you
Super
go.
Bowl teams from a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Nobody else did. I mean, Broncos didn't.
Yeah, and they played
Had
them
two
twice.
chances.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
So, yeah, I mean, that's to me, I don't know how much, like I said, I don't know how much of the defense, kind of breaking down the second half was on defense and how much it was on the offense, because, I mean, like we talked about, there was plenty of times all of a sudden the defense was out there, 3 and out, the Chiefs offense was sending them back out there. I mean, they did not play complimentary football in the second half of the season.
But also the Chargers get a stop, you get the ball back. Eagles get a stop.
Oh.
Jags get a stop, you
Chris
win.
Jones has a penalty that certainly probably cost them a game.
Cowboys get a stop, you get the ball back and maybe chance to win. Broncos get a stop instead of them, kicking a field goal. Although the Chiefs got the ball back offensively in that game. It wasn't you lost the game like in the Jags game. But they were
almost their only offense against the Cowboys was defensive. So
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yes, they scored 28 in the game as a team. Yes, that is true. They also gave up 31 in the game, which was allowed to be more of a wrestling match that particular day, and that's where people's frustration gets involved with the NFL, and that there's such a difference and level of how things are officiated, because that wrestling match was allowed to take place with the wide receivers for the Cowboys, and then like a week later they're calling Pickens and CeeDee Lamb for offensive pass interference. Like, what the what are we doing here? But I think there were certainly opportunities there, and yes, the defense came through against the Colts, but I think there's a level of improvement that the defense has to get to as well. If we're talking about this team getting back to being a Super Bowl team, it's not just, well, the defense is fine, but it's got to be the offense, because this team still won a Super Bowl with the defense being really good in getting them to that Super Bowl and ultimately beating the San Francisco 49ers.
And let's face it, I mean, the defense, I mean, there were deficiencies on this defense. This defense did not get the pass rush and the pressure on the quarterbacks that they have in the past. That's kind of 2 years now where it's been going the wrong direction. So, yeah, I mean, there's things to fix, and you don't even know. I mean, some pieces that you like on this defense may not be back. I mean, Leo Chenal, by all accounts, looks like he is not going to be back.
That would suck.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, Chiefs have never figured out how to make him a three-down player, and somebody's going to.
Release Tranquil and sign Leo Chenal.
I mean, if Leo ends up with being in a 3-4 defense, he's going to crush some things. Yeah, so that's a great place for him.
I think it's a mistake to stay one more year with a 31-year-old linebacker. And
they may both
move on,
be gone.
Yeah, and move on from a 25-year-old linebacker who is ascending.
Yeah.
I just think it's a mistake.
They may both be gone.
Yeah.
Brian Cook is, I mean, and that's the one guy I think that they're going to try and re-sign. But
man, he's going to get, he might get $15 million.
Yeah, no, he's. I mean,
like
if you signed him to a Justin Reed contract, that actually would probably be a pretty good deal.
Yeah, oh yeah, if you got him for Justin Reed, I think that would be a bargain. I think especially with Quentin Lake re-signing with the Rams, I think Brian Cook's going to be the coveted safety on the market. I think, I think he's going to be like a $15-16 million safety, and Justin Reed was a $10 million safety. So there's no way you could. I'm sorry, you can't bring back Brian Cook at $15 million. I don't think he's bringing $15 million worth of play for you if Justin Reed is $10 million.
Yeah,
he's not 50% better.
And then, I mean,
and you probably misread that by not bringing back Justin Reed.
And I mean, sometimes you take chances and they pay off, and sometimes they don't. I mean, it's maybe you made the right choice, and maybe and once again, it takes two to make a deal. I think they probably could have gotten a deal with Brian Cook last year because he was coming off a tough year, coming off the injury. But again, I mean, if you're the Chiefs, you're also thinking, okay, Brian Cook, gosh, bless his heart and all. I mean, he's got more hardware in that ankle of his from two different surgeries. Than
he's got as much hardware in his ankle as he does his fingers.
I was going to say,
for winning Super Bowls.
Oh, I was going to just say a Lowe's, but
no, winning Super. He's got
the right direction there.
He's got rings on his finger.
There you go.
He's got metal in his ankle.
How much of that defensive front's going to be back? And that actually might be a good thing because they didn't perform real well last year. But that defense is going to undergo more of a restructure than people realize. And so, I mean, you're going to have some new faces, maybe some younger players. I mean, because that's one of the things that this team knows it has to do. It has to get younger and faster and cheaper.
Yeah, I do appreciate, and as we take a time out, there's a lot of coaches that have yet to be hired around the NFL. I'm hoping with the turnover that's going to happen with the Chiefs this year, on defense, as you talked about, because I think that is going to be the case, that they are able to retain Cullen and Daly and Dave Merritt as their positional coaches on the defense to help with the transition to the next group of players. And again, there's a lot of coaches that have yet to be hired, and Daly may get a DC job. Dave Merritt could get a DC job. Spags may get a head coaching job. Who knows? There's a lot of things. Cullen may be, grabbed and hired as a DC. There's a lot of things that can happen with these coaches once the coaches start being hired across the league. I'm just hoping with the turnover and the transition from this defense to the next wave of defense that those guys can stay in their current roles.
And my big circle of life here to bring us back to where we started,
Yeah.
Hour and a half ago,
Yep.
is that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's 15 positions with offensive coordinators who've either been let go or they've let go the head coach, and they just haven't made a decision yet on the offensive coordinator who's currently in place. So talking about the defensive pendulum, there's a reason why there's 15 offensive coordinators that might be changing this year, because defense is won in 2025.
Good point.
So half the NFL is changing their offensive coordinators, and they're doing it because defense has had a good year.
Yeah. Matt, we always have a good time when you're in with us. Safe travels up north to the brutal cold of 5 degrees colder up there. And also stay safe this weekend, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
You as well. And Sterling, don't shovel any snow.
Or do any laundry.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Or eat the yellow snow.
Just do nothing. Just sit and lay.
I think that's what everybody's going to be doing probably.
Yeah.
Sitting and laying and hunkering down this weekend. But hopefully everybody is safe out there. We'll take a time out. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone next.
It might be cold outside, but this deal is hot. FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the championship round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app, because more boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, or pick the matchups against the ones that I believe in, because that might be your best bet, because I am rolling with the Patriots. I'm going with Drake May. I think he's had a phenomenal season, and I just do not believe in Jarrett Stidham. I also like the under in that game, quite frankly. The other one in Rams-Seahawks, give me the Rams outright. I'm waffling on the over-under. I'm waffling. So I feel more comfortable with the Rams outright again. I just believe in Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. So you can apply your profit boosts and go after even bigger payouts, all while the playoffs keep rolling on. Visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, hanging out here on a Friday edition, Sports Radio 810 WHB, The Zone. Thank you to Matt Derrick. Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast joining us, talking some Chiefs, talking some NFL, and other things along the way. Sterling's foot. He didn't know the story. He found out how Sterling broke his foot. He's like, I've heard you guys talk about your
You're
broken
late. Oh, because you're slow now.
foot. I mean, just like,
Hey, maybe if you're late up, don't leave the room
Studio?
every single break.
do work.
Oh, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do?
I got to record. I
Why
got to
don't you
do
do
a
Sports Center Live?
Dude, great question. Great question. It takes.
Are you scared? You're scared? You can't time it out?
No, I can time it out. Okay, you know what? Here's
What?
why.
That's why I wanna know.
One time I did it.
You and Lebo.
We don't always have the best internet sometimes. It went out. And as I'm doing the Sports Center, all my pages that I have open, gone.
Microsoft Word is connected to the internet,
Espen.
so you're not writing it out. You're just reading off headlines.
No, I
That's
have
your problem.
I have it pulled up. And so I have the things
Not sure.
to
So you're
talk about.
plagiarizing? Are you typing it out in your own words?
I think about them in my own words. I just need them
Then why
to
do you need a script?
jumpstart
Why do you need a script?
so I can see.
It's called plagiarism.
It's not called plagiarism.
That's
it's
exactly
called,
what it's called.
No, that's libel, my good sir.
How's that?
So
Because it's through your voice.
no, that's slander, buddy. Good God, man.
What is happening here? Did you
Anyway,
go to
so-
journalism school?
So okay,
Is it? Okay.
Big J journalism.
Yeah.
So
The plage.
when
Read a
you
book.
when you do, so when you do the Sports Center, you don't actually like write out the script that you'll
supposed
be
to write out a script.
reading.
No, because then you become
then that's too much work?
No, you become robotic in that instance.
You don't know how to.
don't-
You don't know how to read and sound like you're not reading.
But then when you don't have words, you can't do it, is what you're saying.
Correct.
So you read somebody
It's-
else's words
No.
and you're not robotic? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I'm not reading someone else's words. I just need to see what I need for my own ability to then put it into my words.
and it
Right?
and it's so easy for him to do that he's got to record it and take multiple takes to do it, as opposed to just writing it out
it's one
and then
take.
reading
Write
it
it
for
out.
45
you need
seconds.
to write it out in conversational.
It's one take. And the reason I do it is so that
Should
way
do it
that
live then.
Darcy
Should do
doesn't
it
have
live.
to even have anything. It's all self-contained, so I mix it down with the Sports Center song in
It
the
is
background.
easier for me.
I
It
make
seems like a
so
lot
mu-
more work
It is
for
a lot
you.
more work, but I make it easier on Darcy.
Yeah, right.
It's easier on Darcy. Why he can't just keep you potted up and you
It's
do it live?
not- I mean, it's
It is easier
not that.
because then he's
got to
deal with the levels and all these things.
I mean, that's not the levels. He turns on your mic and then turns down the music a little bit and leaves it until you're done talking.
Those are levels.
I'm a generous
So
man.
he's doing what he's doing for 4 hours just for an extra minute for you.
So I save him a minute worth of work because I'm a generous man.
It's so amazing the extra work you put into to avoid just typing out and writing what the story's
Yeah,
going to be
stuff
and then
out of-
reading it live.
you know, you type it out in your own
Yeah.
words, and you type it out conversationally. That's how it's
I'll tell you
supposed
what,
to be done.
he would kill
Otherwise
it on.
is-
He would kill it on a teleprompter. He would be so good. Sterling would kill it on a teleprompter.
I would be
Clearly.
good at a teleprompter.
Not. You wouldn't.
I'd try it.
You're saying that you would be robotic by reading the
Well,
teleprompter.
no, but
I can tell you're reading when you do those, by the way.
well, yeah. Sometimes I need to
Every
know
time.
numbers.
I can't tell that Mick's reading.
Thank
Mick
you.
kills it, dude.
That's the whole deal. That's the
I know.
whole secret. When you're reading, it needs to be conversational. It needs to come out like you're not reading.
I'm reading the teleprompter when we're doing Sunday Sound Off as Mick's talking. And I'm going.
I'm
Yeah,
literally
you're doing that.
It does
I'm
not
literally
sound like
reading
he's
the
reading this.
teleprompter right now.
We got one in here.
We have one right now. This entire thing has been teleprompted.
Just say, bud, put your feet up and do it live. You know what? It's a
Well,
lot
give me
easier.
your knee.
How about a chair?
Give me your knee.
Another chair right there, dude.
I don't like talking. I don't like touching you when you're healthy. Really not when you're.
Is your broken
Laid
is your
up.
broken ankle
Broken
contagious?
stump of a foot.
Is your broken ankle contagious? I don't want to do that. I
I
want
don't
to.
wanna
I don't
do
want to
that.
catch your broken
I wanna
bone. I don't want to do that.
Nope.
Nope.
Two
No
broken
way.
bones. I got one.
No
I got a
way.
bone for each of you.
Yeah. Broken bones going around a lot. The flu, COVID, broken bones. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
No way. So anyway, Sterling had to leave so we can go do Sports Center.
I'm
That's what
doing
we-
work.
That's what we got to the bottom of.
Doing work.
Got to the bottom of.
Let a man do
Yep.
extra work who's going above and beyond in his line of duty.
I think you're working. You're working harder, not smarter there.
That's exactly. No, yes, exactly. 100%.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is unlike you.
I'm a hard. Did you not hear my Eric Bieniemy song? Did you not hear that?
No, I have not.
You've
But
not
did you do a
heard-
song?
Yeah, do you want to hear the
So
Eric
it's the
Bieniemy song?
Third song I think I've seen.
Maybe
you
fourth.
do.
I worked hard on this one.
It's so good too because it's just smooth.
I worked hard.
Melody, syllables. Everything is perfect.
Eric Bieniemy. Eric.
So I'm not joking.
Bieniemy.
If I were to edit that,
Eric
that would take me
Bieniemy.
probably 90 seconds. To
Yes,
edit.
exactly. 100%.
This
Probably
was
90
3
seconds.
hours.
He started that on Monday. When the news broke with Bieniemy, he started it.
What I actually did was before the show, I go, I got something funny. And so I went in there and go, I'm just going to cut out where I put Rice. Because I basically now I have a whole thing of anyone who returns to Kansas City.
Yeah, in sports, whenever somebody does something, you like, what are they doing? There's almost always a song lyric you can attach
and
to
so
it.
return of the anytime someone returns to Kansas City, it's now just I go there, I cut out the previous spot and put in my hardworking mix down version of that.
job.
I almost did Eric Bieniemy and Chad O'Shea, but Chad O'Shea wasn't really returning. I guess he was. He came back in 03.
A long time ago. He broke in with the Chiefs a long
All right,
time
let me
ago.
get my
Yeah,
crutch.
Go
Let me
do
go to
it.
the other room.
Go
Let
do
me
it.
go
We'll see
after
you in an
this.
hour.
It feels like
you in 3
recording.
days.
Feels like recording your Sports Centers as your crutch. Got a literal and a figurative one.
I'm limping
there, buddy.
around and I'm getting roasted by people who I thought were acquaintances.
I'm just telling you, you don't
I'm
have
still
to.
your acquaintance, barely.
I'm telling you, you don't have to limp around.
Exactly. We're saying we're
I
trying
have
to help
to
you
limp.
out.
But you
do
don't
it
have
live.
to leave. I'll write it. We'll do it live. What does
It's
it
a
play us
minute
out?
script, right?
What does that mean, play us out?
Huh?
Is it a minute script?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got to write 45 seconds worth of copy.
No,
It should-
53.
Yeah, it should take you about 53 seconds.
No, you're
to
not
write
going to
that.
write 53 seconds worth of copy because then that's going to take you minute 5 to get through it. What is this, your first time in radio?
No, I can talk quick if I need to.
Well, we have read rates in TV.
You've what now?
It's like,
Read rates, and it's
Oh, yeah.
factored in to when you type it out.
you're
Just type it
gonna
out.
you're gonna type it out, read it, and it's gonna be 45 seconds, so that when you're live with your Sports Center, it's
Yeah.
gonna be about 53 or 54. I mean, this is child's play.
I'm just
If you need
A nice guy.
If you want to slow down, project and be a little bit louder. That automatically kind of slows
Enunciate,
you down.
brother.
my name is Mick Schaefer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so making
Good
fun of
start.
Sterling
It's a good
Sports
start.
Centers off the
I'm
format.
a man with a crutch. I can totally hit you with it.
Yeah, you could.
Just totally just.
Actually, you know
I
what?
like all kinds of touching.
Yeah,
Nothing
that's right.
wrong. No touching. Arrested development.
Okay.
That's all I think about.
All right, so let's go ahead and finish this segment. Get this thing done. We'll return, and on the other
Side
side,
like being me.
just Mike, just hit a button.
Eric Bieniemy.
I wrap it up this hour, kicking Lebo out finally. One more hour to go here on this Friday edition of The Zone, hanging out with Mick Schaefer. We will get into a little college basketball. We talked a little bit about that at the first part of the show. We will also get Mick's thoughts on the decision that Beltran has to make. We talked a little bit about that. And then the top 100 Major League Baseball players was released, and I think it actually shows what this regime is doing in maximizing what is available to them in today's baseball economics by just simply looking at the top 100 players in baseball. We're going to do that as well. Sterling, you pointed at me. What do you want?
And we'll get mixed picks.
I'll pick.
You're going to pick?
I'll pick.
We'll get a Mick pick at the end of the show in regards to who he's going to pick in the weekend
I got
slate of
those on
games.
my phone right now.
Yeah. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, hanging out with Mick Schaefer, presented by Advent Health Sports Park at a Blue Hawk. Mick Schaefer joining us, as he does on Fridays, heading up until 1. We got the cuts, or 2 o'clock. Cuts before the show is over today, before handing it off to the program with Seren Petro. Tomorrow, KU basketball coverage starting at 5:30 right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 7 o'clock tip with KU K-State.
Mick has a little Mike McDaniel going. Is this because you wanted him to come to KC as the OC?
That's it. I don't think these might be pulled up a little bit. They're not like his are like mid-calf.
These are
right?
capris.
These are like regular joggers. They'll go down when I stand up to like the tops of my shoes. But yeah, I've got some. I got the tight pants and some.
I just didn't know if you were
pants.
like rooting for Mike, because apparently he's not officially going to go to the Chargers now. I mean, he's
interviewing with the Bills.
He's now interviewing for the Bills as the head coaching job.
He and Phillip Rivers. I just think what happened is Mike McDaniel probably spent a day with Jim Harbaugh and thought,
We're complete opposites.
I don't know if this is really going to work, because I've told like 5 jokes and he has not laughed one time.
Where am I supposed to vape? And he just laughed.
It's going to be so warm here. They're going to know that I'm vaping the whole time. Buffalo, no clue. No clue if I'm vaping in Buffalo.
In LA, you'll be able to wear those transition lenses or whatever he's got. Those kind of like thinly veiled sunglasses. In Buffalo, not as much.
Yeah, but in Buffalo also, you're not going to be walking around with capri pants in Buffalo. Miami and LA, you'd be fine. You're good. San Francisco, Miami, LA.
He should have been like coveralls, but they're capri coveralls. They're still showing his calves.
So it's like an entire snowsuit that people wear to those games, but it's cut off.
You see his calves. He's got snow boots on even and everything, but
it's the snowsuit for like a 12-year-old. Yeah. Was it snows out, calves out? Like, I don't even know what it would be for.
Guys out, thighs out, snows out.
Yes.
Bros are out, am I right?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Snows out, bros out. Let's go.
Yeah, maybe. Not sure.
Toes out. Snows out, toes out.
There you go. There you go. That's what it is.
It's like, instead of like the gloves that for some reason have the fingers, where you can have the fingers that
about
just palms.
Freeze out, knees out.
Oh, there it is.
Freeze out, knees out.
There it is. Yeah, absolutely. I asked this question in the first segment, Mick, so I shall ask you now. KU K-State tomorrow. How badly does Jerome Tang need this game? It's a simple question. There's a lot of things that go into it, because right now he is currently in his career 3-0 versus Kansas in Manhattan. He's missed the tournament the last couple of years, but at the end of the season he said, well, I'm still beating KU. How badly does Jerome Tang need this win?
I think it's huge. If he won, they would be 2-5 in the league. Is that right? Are they 1-5 right now?
Yeah.
If you want to be 2-5, but a win over KU, it's almost like makes you 5-2. Now, does it save his job if he goes out and lays eggs the rest of the way? No. But, I mean, a rivalry win, especially in that rivalry, especially that team over that team in that sport, it'll buy you some time.
Yeah.
Now, more would have to be done, but it'll buy you some time. But I feel like if things continue going the way they're going this year for K-State in the Big 12, and looking at the Big 12, I don't see how it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, they just survive a Utah shot at the end to not lose to the quote-unquote worst team in the league. But that might be the final straw of like, okay, the one thing he was holding on to, we at least beat KU at home, and now he's not doing that.
Bruce Weber wasn't making tournaments, and he lost 7 consecutive games to KU. At that point, it's like, what is it you say you do here? Okay, because you're not beating KU, and you're not going to the tournament. So you can't be the coach anymore. And if Jerome Tang doesn't at least offer, well, you know what, I'm splitting with KU every year. I'm still doing that. We're going to get back on track and go into the tournament, but I'm taking care of one of the main things, which is winning at home. We're not winning at Lawrence. We've split all 3 years. He's 3-3, 3-0, and 0-3. They end the season this year in Lawrence at Kansas, and maybe that would be the game that could give them one more year if if they don't win tomorrow. Because I think a win tomorrow, and even missing the tournament, let's say you're 16-15 or 15-16, then you'll lose the Big 12 opener. So 16-16. Let's go that route. 16-16, you beat KU. It would be 3 years without an NCAA tournament, back-to-back years without a postseason in general, because the second year was
their
the
last
NIT.
game would have been that Elite Eight game, right?
Yeah, because the NIT the next year they lost in the first round, but yes, last NCAA tournament game. it may buy him one more year because of the $19 million buyout,
Yeah.
as opposed to if you lose tomorrow, and especially if you lose and and for some reason isn't close, and you continue on this track the rest of the way. At that point, it's like $19 million.
What is that to a
gonna be
college
worth it.
anymore?
Yeah.
Athletic department doesn't seem much.
I mean, sorry, they lost to Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
It's pretty
in
bad.
a bad way too. It's not like okay, Oklahoma State controlled the game or whatever. They
Yeah.
should have won that game,
Dude,
and
he's
Oklahoma
done.
State's not one of the worst teams. Oklahoma State's in the bracket in the tournament right now.
I don't think that the Kansas game, it matters to a sense of
What can you hang your hat on to at least argue I should keep my job because
that
of
won't matter, man. It shouldn't matter. If you're saying because you beat Kansas one time and
four times,
one time this year, like, dude, sorry, you can't. That's the most little brother thing I'd ever. You can do at that point of saying, well, we beat Kansas once. No, that's not the goal. K-State is better than that. They have more pride than that. I think it's absurd that even if you beat Kansas, it would have to culminate in them going on a run. Because I think if you miss the tournament this year, you just have to have the conversation, which I think
Well, I
they're
think
going to.
they
They're
should
not
be
gonna
having the
make the
conversation
tournament.
right now.
No, I know they're
Yeah.
not. That's my point. Like, the only conversation you have is when can we get out of this, and what do we feel comfortable eating?
If you
like,
go-
what do we feel?
yeah.
How much money can we eat? Because I don't think beating Kansas should. It bought me a year. If that's your case, then that's to me is you're an unserious program.
It's always been in college sports forever. It's like, okay, the coaches that win a lot and lose to the rival. Mike Gundy was that could never beat OU. Almost never beat OU, but he beat everybody else for a long time. But then there's guys like, the coach before Mike Gundy, Les Miles, would beat OU on a regular basis and lose to everybody and go like 5-7, right? And so, which are you? And it appears Tang might be neither of those guys this year.
Depending on
And this is
9
not
o'clock
it's not
tomorrow
a great,
when the game's over.
It's not a great KU team, but they are playing their best basketball of the season right now.
They may or may not have Darren Peterson. We don't know.
Yeah.
Just like, so many games this year anyway that we've talked about. I don't think it saves his job. I think the point being, and the pride part of it, I'm with you. I think at the end of the season, because of the way it's going, there is nothing realistically you can look at what Jerome Tang has done in saying, you know what, I think there's something there that it's going to turn around. It's not like you can say, well, we're going to invest more in the roster. Okay, you've been doing that. You've been investing in the roster. It's not like, well, we're going to give them more help around them. Okay, you've been doing that. What is it you can hang your hat on? And I'm not saying, hey, we beat Kansas means I should get another year, but it is at least something he could offer. If you lose tomorrow, there's almost nothing that you could say, this is at least something I'm doing. Give me another year and I can do this and this. Because I'm already doing this, I'm taking care of number one, and that is beating Kansas at home. We are not going to lose to them at home. I'm going to make sure of that. But now I've learned this and this, and this is what we're going to do different next year. This is why it's going to work. Okay, we're not going to give you the 18.7. We'll give you one more year, and then spend the 15.7 if it doesn't work there. I mean, if you finish on this trajectory and, lose tomorrow, lose on March 7th against Kansas and Lawrence, and, you finish with, 4 or 5 wins, 5-13 in Big 12 play, I think at that point you're like, what's the point of saving $3 million to pay him 15.7 next year if you can pay him 18.7 right now? It's not like it goes from 18.7 to 10.
Yeah.
It's only $3 million. And at that point, it's like you're trying to save $3 million, but what are you costing yourself by going another year of being a 500 or worse team at Kansas State?
If I had to guess, this would be his last year. That would be my prediction right now. And I think he's one of those coaches, and I don't blame him. He's not very good at the portal. I mean, they're turning that team over every year. There's guys that you get excited about. Coleman Hawkins coming in. PJ Haggerty is a bucket. He brought in, was the North Texas kid, was it Terry, a couple years ago, that the point guard?
We brought in Coleman Hawkins.
I said Coleman Hawkins.
It was
And they don't win, is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not arguing with you. I think it's the same thing. My point is he builds the same team every single year, and it doesn't work.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's the
what was his
same, but
name?
it's
The last 2
team.
years has been brand new team, but same strategy of we'll pay money for one guy and we'll overpay.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, because I told the stupid joke about saying I heard he can play the role of a point guard really well. It was dumb. He laughed though. But anyway, Tyler Perry.
But yeah, so
Yes.
and I just wonder if if Tang is more of a like, okay, I got to find my own guys because he probably has a different coaching style, different kind of culture there. The seemingly ultra positive buy-in as opposed to these guys are coming in. They're just looking at dollar signs, right? They're maybe not his guys, and he needs to be one of those coaches that gets his own guys and develops them because they've turned that team over the last 3 years, and they've gotten worse every year.
Yes.
And what would bother me about this year for Jerome Tang is you mentioned the overly positive. It's what he is, and wants to do everything from the, level of if you believe, loving each other, a togetherness that's there. That would instill a passion for each other and a passion for the team and the school. But this team doesn't look like it plays with much passion because they go through the motions on defense, which is when you sort of show the passion, how badly do you want it, how badly do you want to work for your teammate next to you. That first team did. That first team was all over the place. I mean, it was a fun team to watch. And unfortunately, this team, just, again, it's scoring the most in K-State history. It's also giving up the most in K-State history. So where's the passion? Where's the togetherness? Where's the you're doing it out of love? You're doing it out of what you believe in, how much you like the guy next to you. Like they're just sort of going through the motions there on defense.
He's called them out. He said, these guys hang out off the court all the time, but I look at them on the court, and it feels like they hate each other.
Yeah.
But they're not friends at all.
They don't look like they're having
each other.
fun.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're having fun playing basketball very often. And I know K-State fans are saying, yeah, we're not having fun watching them. So, that's a frustrating part. Like, I don't know. It just...
You know what I'm mad about the other night? They're like, we're anthracite to the fans. They said, we're doing an anthracite. And I had to look up, what's anthracite?
What is that?
Isn't it
It's
like
like
a dinosaur
charcoal
type? Oh.
gray color.
Anthracite.
Anthracite, I think it's
It's a very... That's not like a whiteout or a blackout. That's a very
it's like, who's got
specific
that?
thing.
Let me go to my gray closet.
Wear your lavender. Okay, yeah, all right, that's fine.
Okay, here we go.
Wear your anthracite?
I got it. Give the shirts out. Put them on the seats to
good
get
call.
people there.
Anthracite, the highest rank of coal, characterized as a hard, brittle, and lustrous black metamorphic rock. It is.
You got 10 of those shirts, don't you?
I have.
Sterling?
I have 10 shirts that contain 86 to 98% fixed carbon and very low volatile matter. It's very dense, very energy dense,
Makes sense.
and it burns with a short, smokeless blue flame.
Well, it fits because for Christmas, Tank's been
dark
giving
gray.
K-State fans coal for a while, so you might as well just make it full on. We don't know if Darren Peterson's going to play tomorrow, but honestly, I don't think Darren Peterson needs to play for KU to win.
I
the
don't
game
think so
tomorrow.
either.
He doesn't. And this is a.
And here's another thing about the whole rivalry thing. I don't know how much the KU players. That's another thing about these college rivalries.
Yeah.
How much do they know / care about them? Because McKenzie went over there Thursday and was talking to Self, and I believe it was Jamari McDowell, and they asked him about what would it be like going to Bramlage Coliseum. He goes, "That's K-State, right?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Which, I mean, I don't blame him, right? It's
You
like,
played there last year.
yeah.
You played in. I think he played in that
did,
game.
yeah. He probably would have, I'm guessing.
I think he did. Yeah, he was 0 for. Looking it up right now. I had to pull up.
But
his
he's a
game.
guy
He was
that's been
0
there
for
a
1
couple
from three.
years. Been there a couple years, and again, they don't know the name of every
Right,
stadium
yeah.
they're playing in. But that was funny. To where like the fans and the media, we love to play up the rivalries, and
Yeah.
often I think we play them up more than the players.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to play or if Darren Peterson's going to play or not. Carlos Beltran, a decision to make for the Hall of Fame. And I think the end result is going to be no decision. I think it's going to be no logo on the hat for Carlos Beltran
Well,
in
it's
the Hall
not
of
up
Fame.
to him completely, right?
It's now the Hall
They
of Fame.
work with you, but
they
it's-
will
They
decide.
have the ultimate decision.
They have the ultimate decision. They have 51%, as Andy Reid does, but they typically take the recommendation of the player if there is good reason for
Unless
it.
he says, "I'm going to be a Yankee."
Yeah, like you have to be, which I
A
guess
giant. I don't remember if it was a giant. I'm like,
Yeah.
is
Was
it a
it
giant?
Ranger?
Is he a Ranger?
Harmon Killebrew. I actually
Yeah.
want to go in as a Royal.
Royal,
I
that'd be
think-
great.
Yeah.
No, there was one that they did not.
Boggs, right? Didn't Boggs want to go in, or did he go in as a Ray?
No, that was so I read about that one, and that was he said that was all false.
It was all
That
false, okay.
He never told him that he wanted to go in as a Ray. That was like something that was put out there by the Rays to say that no, actually, this is
How drunk was Wade, though, when he was saying that?
Totally.
He was
very,
eating
very much.
3 chickens, too. It was weird. He's a chicken man.
30,000 feet.
Yeah. I think it was Gary Carter that said he preferred to go in as a Met.
He's not.
And they gave him the expo,
Expo,
and he
really?
said I'm a Hall of Famer, so I mean I understand why they're choosing that. I get it. I'm not going to fight it, but it wasn't what he had preferred for whatever. I mean, he played 12 years with the Expos and 5 with the Mets, but he wanted to go in as a Met.
I loved when he was here playing for the Royals. I think it's cool these are Royals. He was came up in the Royal system, but I think it should be Mets.
I don't know. He played 7 years with both.
Yeah.
But his best 7 years.
Yeah,
He had
best
his-
7
yeah.
years were with New York. Not individually, team-wise.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think
I
also
know he was here for that glamorous 83 and 79 season
I know.
in 03.
Here's what I do wonder if, when he sits back and says, okay, what am I going to decide to do? Again, I think he may ultimately go, I'm in the Hall of Fame, so I just don't need to have a logo. Greg Maddux, no logo.
So some
doesn't
guys
matter.
don't have
Yeah, Maddux
a hat
is like
on.
Maddux said, I'm not choosing between the Braves and the Cubs. I'm not going to choose between
Really?
it, so no logo.
I would have thought
Brave.
definite
Yeah.
Brave.
I thought Brave.
Definite
That
Brave.
shouldn't have been a question.
And that's all the deal. Like I would have thought Carter definitely Met because we know them more for their team success, right? He won
Sure.
a World Series with them, and same with the
Switch hitter.
Braves and
Carlos
Maddox.
Beltran, switch hitter. If you're a
Maybe
switch
both.
hitter,
Yeah,
you're allowed
yeah,
to do half
both,
and
yeah,
half.
half and half.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. But I think, from Greg Maddox's perspective is, it's who I came up with. It's where I sort of had a coming of age. They drafted me, developed me, gave me a chance. Same number of years in Kansas City as the Mets, but it's the Royals drafted him, developed him, gave him a chance as a 21-year-old. And this may or may not matter, but he did spend part of his press conference yesterday talking about what George Brett meant to him. Learning how to be a pro by watching George Brett, going through batting practice with George Brett, learning the game with George Brett.
So he would have been in camps and stuff while Brett was still playing.
No, just as a
Okay,
coach, just
right,
around,
okay.
being around the Royals with George Brett. And Carlos Beltran would be then the only guy in the Hall of Fame with the Royals hat with George Brett. It'd be George Brett and Carlos Beltran. So there would be some symmetry there to it from that standpoint. But I mean, that may not be enough to go, yeah, but I had 5 All-Stars in 7 years, and I was a Met. He also got booed and mother bleeped because he watched Strike 3 in the postseason. So maybe
did.
you got
They were still
maybe you got-
talking about that.
Maybe you got that memory there, Carlos, where everybody around here still remembers that White Sox game and the comeback and the
Opening
catch
day
and everything. Opening
walk-off,
day, that was
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, only positives from Carlos Beltran, the greatest defensive center fielder we've seen in Kansas City. Runs like a freaking gazelle and just as smooth on the. Looks like he's floating. Everything about him is amazing. Then they trade him on my birthday.
If he doesn't go in as a Met, all those Mets fans are going to just plaster him with that
Yeah.
Strike 3.
Yeah.
They're going to be obnoxious about it.
Shocker,
they're
he sat back
abrasive
and Shocker, he sat back and didn't make a decision, just like Strike 3.
Got the bat on his
Or
shoulders.
just let somebody else do it for him. Shocker, he's going to do that.
But I think it's one of those two. I was shocked. Again, team success kind of frames your memories of guys. He'll only play for the Astros for a couple years.
Yeah,
but a couple
he was
runs
in 2 different stints.
Yeah,
It
two
was
stints and
2 very short stints, but one very
bad one at the
successful.
end. And one successful and
Yeah.
bad. Yeah,
Andrew Jones going in as a Yankee, probably, right?
I wouldn't think so. But how many years was he a Yankee?
A couple. He bounced around towards
I
the end.
remember him only as a Brave. I
The
think,
best,
What else do I remember?
the best defensive center fielder I think of all time,
man.
and I just
all time there. Wow.
Yeah, I would probably say of all time. I'm thrilled that Andrew Jones got it, and I think he's very deserving. I think, again, I talked about this earlier. I thought Bobby Abreu deserves a longer look. If you don't get him in, I get it, but I think he deserves a much more firm look. I think personally, Cole Hamels, Andy Pettitte, Mark Burley are all in the Hall of Very Good for me. But I think that if Andy Pettitte gets in, I don't know how you leave out Mark Burley. They're eerily similar. I mean, eerily similar. Just one played for the Yankees.
I don't know how you bring up Mark Burley in a conversation at all, ever, about Hall of Fame, but that's fine too. Just joking.
I mean,
love you,
I
Sterling.
prefer him or the exact same as Andy Pettitte. And
By
so
the way,
that's
I wanted to go back
big
and,
Yankee.
Yeah, I wanted to go enough down with Big Yankee. I wanted to go back and find the quote Greg Maddux when it was announced that he will not have a logo on his Hall plaque. He said, for me, I couldn't pick. Both places mean so much to me. And then the Hall of Fame president at the time about not having a logo on the hat says, for those whose careers were built significantly among multiple teams, not having a team logo is equally acceptable.
Did he have a third? Did he ever play with a third team?
That's a
Yeah,
great
Maddox. Yeah,
question.
he ended up in San Diego with the Padres. His final
Padres.
year.
I think his final year was a Dodger. So was it a Padre and a Dodger then?
Let me
or
look it
both,
up.
maybe?
He
I
should
don't,
do
I don't
what
remember.
they do.
I remember him playing with the Dodgers at one point.
His final
maybe he
year.
ended
His
with
final
the-
year was Dodgers. Yeah, it was. He did both. Final year was Padres, then Padres Dodgers combo.
yeah.
It was 26 games with the Padres,
Yeah, it
and
was
then 7 with
Chicago,
the Dodgers.
Atlanta, Chicago,
Yeah,
and then
Wait, and
West
then-
Coast.
and then Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers.
Yeah.
Just a hired gun there at the end, right? For
Yeah, he was pretty
playoffs.
good.
Yep.
That 1 year with the 1 year with the Dodgers, a 3.3 ERA when he was 40 years old.
I think he's good enough to be in the Hall of Fame, honestly, if you ask me. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm emotionally hedging it. I think Sterling said this in the first hour, and I agree with him. I'm emotionally hedging it. I'm expecting it to be the Mets, and then I'll be
you should.
pleasantly surprised if it's blank or ecstatic if it's the Royals and Carlos Beltran. And
Probably
George Brett.
not going to be the Astros, considering.
I'd be shocked. That would be my feeling. As I look through the feeling chart and point to the facial expression of how I'm feeling right now, as I learn my emotions and I use my emotion words, I would be okay, feeling fine. I'd feel ecstatic, and I'd feel shocked based on some of the different decisions that he makes. I'd be pissed for the Yankees.
2 slaps on the trash can for the Royals, 1 for the Mets.
Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. Twice on the pipes.
You guys talked about that the
answer
other day,
is
right? That's kind of
no.
like a hypocritical thing, right?
Oh, about Carlos
Yeah.
and the cheating scandal, and
You can make a great case that that's more
about the
cheating than PEDs.
Well, I think the
PEDs, you're
PEDs
going
guys should
for
be in
one
anyway.
person.
I think the PED
Agreed,
guys
yeah.
should be in anyway.
I think
so.
they both should. I mean, yes for both.
I would
But-
also agree to this in that, especially when some of the guys did it, they immediately stopped once they found out it was illegal, or once they found out that you can't do it and they're testing. Like some of those guys, you're like, hey, it's not really, it's frowned upon, but it's not really an illegal
That's not
situation.
illegal, yeah.
So it's like, okay, so why would I? And then they were like, hey, this is illegal. We're going to start testing. You can't do this. And then they never got caught. I'm like, well,
This
that
guy
was
cheated for himself, but this guy just cheated for his entire team.
for his entire
He's
team and
fine.
organization.
Yeah. But also, it's like, how much did we like the guy? I mean, Big Poppy's in the whole thing.
Yeah, it's very
But
true.
he's Big Poppy. He's lovable.
Well, Andy
We love that.
Pettit got, didn't he get PEDs?
I mean, he can't stand Andy. If you see, is
you
it
bring
on
him
site
up
with
a
you?
lot.
With you and Andy Pettit, is it on site? If you see him, are you just going to start fighting him?
Did he do Did he do
What did
Peds?
Andy Pettit do to you?
I feel like it was the guys that lied about it.
Yes, Andy Pettit admitted to using HGH twice in 2002 and 2004.
Both times he got caught. That's the only times I've ever used it.
Only
It's
times.
Only times. Honey, this is the first time I've ever done this.
Yes.
I mean, what are the odds?
Yes.
It's just like, wow. Turns out I'm a terrible bank robber because I got caught the first time I ever did
And here it is: baseball banned HGH in 2005. So this is kind of the point that I'm making is
Did he do it before or
if you
after?
did it, he did it before. He didn't. So like,
Sounds like it was okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, why do we skew it for some but not for others?
I do wonder how much we kind of just moved on from that with George Springer in the playoffs, and everybody sort of falling in love with what George Springer was doing and how he was playing. And it's like, oh, you remember he was part of the Astros too?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but he's not an Astro now, so it's kind of fun, to watch him do that. And he's going up against some of these other teams.
Correa's not an Astro. He still
Yeah.
gets booed.
Also, by the way, why are we pissed off that the Astros stole a World Series from the Dodgers? Shouldn't that be like the opposite? Shouldn't we be like, you know what? Hell yeah, everybody on that team goes to the Hall of Fame. Those guys were cheating to beat the Dodgers and the Yankees. They beat the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Chas McCormick,
Why are we mad at this
Hall
team?
of Famer. I don't
Why
know if
are we
Chas
mad at
McCormick
this
was on the
team?
That's like his name.
They beat the Yankees and the Dodgers. Why are we booing these guys? It's the exact opposite. They should be praised. You know what? Carlos Correa, come back to Kansas City. Standing ovation. Standing ovation. That's what I'm giving you now.
No.
That's what I'm giving you. Carlos Beltran.
Now, I will say, if my team was the one that did that, I'd say, well, you should have been smarter and caught us before.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're fans, you look at things different. You spin it differently, don't
But
you?
but you did it with technology. Yeah, and you're not smart enough to figure it out.
Sorry, you don't know how an iPad works, guys.
We deciphered the stealing of the signs on our own, just with our own smarts by
But
looking
because
at you
it's
guys.
not my team, Jail.
Cheaters. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. A little more baseball, and then we'll get into the championship games and some cuts. What does the top 100 in Major League Baseball say about what the Royals are doing with the available assets to take advantage in today's baseball economics? Next.
Brain hurts.
You know, man, if you were out there and if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s later on, and you may be wondering if you're suffering from low testosterone, there's no need to wonder anymore. Just simply go and figure it out. Go to Heartland Men's Health and figure out what your testosterone level is. You might be having some symptoms that are related to low testosterone. Heartland Men's Health can help with that. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. They'll do your lab work with you, have your results within 30 minutes. A licensed medical provider will review your results with you, discuss your options, help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment, it's $99. That includes medical consult, T, and PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, your visit's free. You don't pay a dime. You could be back to higher energy levels, better gains in the gym, more productive at work, no more brain fog, sleeping better. It's a lot of things that are connected to low testosterone that aren't maybe as known or as evident as some of the main ones. Heartland Men's Health, successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Todd Lee, are we ready? Okay, 3, 2, and 1. See, it's Nick. It's so much easier to tape these things. 3, 2, and 1.
That's right.
Todd Lebo with a great point says the only way to choose the hat is WAR per million. Carlos Beltran 24.8 WAR for 20 million, 31.1 WAR for the Mets for 119 million. So clearly, the better value as a player was with the Royals.
Royals, okay,
Royals cap.
yeah.
That's what you go with. Royals cap. The Royals have. Do you guys know how many players the Royals have in the top 100 of Major League Baseball?
I do.
You do?
I want to
Okay,
say, 3, right?
4.
Who's the 4? So I know
Maybe.
Vinny and Reagans and Witt, and obviously I'm missing one. Seth.
No, who had a great year last year?
It's
no,
Michael Garcia.
St. Joe pitcher?
No, Michael Garcia.
Oh, Garcia.
Yep. So number 3,
Might be
Bobby.
listening to you guys.
Yes. Number 3, Bobby. Yeah, it's like, hold on, I'll get it. Stop telling me about Darcy.
Yeah, he's about to answer.
Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier.
Bobby, number 3.
Yastrzemski.
Michael Darcy, 65. Cole Reagan's 89. VP, as in Vinny Pasquantino, 93. So what I went and looked at then was, and I didn't really look at it. Somebody else at MLB.com did it for me, and that was how many each team had, because that would be a lot of work, and I'm not going to go and count through all of those things. So when looking at how many each team had, so the Dodgers had 8, the Yankees had 6, the Mariners 5, the Phillies 5, and the Red Sox 5.
So only 5 teams had more than the Royals.
Right. But here's something to take away from that I also looked at was, if we look at all of those teams, so the Royals with their 4 players that are drafted, signed out of the Dominican, or traded within a year of their rookie status, the Royals have the most in Major League Baseball, tied for the most in Major League Baseball with the number of players that show up that aren't free agents.
3.
It's the Mariners, all 4. Because I'm sorry, in trading, they traded for
trading
within a year or two, because like the Mariners traded for for Josh Naylor.
You're like just trying to get the fourth guy in there.
He barely was rookie. Cole Reagans, they didn't trade.
But he was like 26.
Okay, so does Reagans and Josh Naylor, is that the same? Trading for Josh Naylor, like the Mariners did.
I didn't say they're the same.
That's what I'm asking you. So how do you
Neither should
differentiate
be
between the
counted
two?
in
I
this
think
one.
neither should be counted.
Yeah.
I'm with Mick. I don't like agreeing with him necessarily, but like I'm on his side.
But you're missing the point here.
You're
You're missing the point.
The point is trying to get the Royals to number 1.
No,
in
the
this
point.
category.
No. The point is the Dodgers have 7 of 8 as free agents.
Yeah.
no, I don't argue that
The
point.
Yankees have 4 of 6 as free agents. The
I don't argue
Phillies
that either.
4 of 5 are free agents. That's the point. Is the Royals
Non-free agents.
How do you go and acquire those players? By drafting, developing. In today's economics, they have the most if you're looking at drafting, developing, or making a trade for as a younger player, not a Josh Naylor has been in the league for 6 years and then you trade for him. Like Reagans was barely a rookie, had rookie status when they traded for him.
Where
That's
would it
4 of
rank
them.
if you just had 3? Would that still be towards the top?
I didn't look
right?
at the other 3 because then I would have to look at all the people that had 4 and 3. The Mariners only have 1 free agent signing out of their 5, and so
they would have 4.
They would have 4.
Yeah.
Are
the other trades? Any other trades?
That's Naylor is a trade and then a free agency. So it's a free agency, but also if we want to count it as trade, we can count it as trade and say 5 for 5 because they traded for him. And I think you could also you can make the case this. I'll count Naylor from this standpoint. They traded prospects for Naylor, but then they also had to re-sign him in free agency, fine, whatever. Then we could say the Royals have the second most behind the Mariners by being able to use what you have.
I feel like a cleaner cut would be like, how many did you draft and develop? Your guys that you brought up.
Yeah.
3. Cleaner cut, which is still going to be 3.
Yes,
I mean,
Three.
I think they
three.
developed.
The-
I would say I could argue that they developed Reagans. I mean, they helped develop him, but I still agree with you, Mick. I think 3.
That's why I was trying to find a way to include Reagans, because I do think coming over to Kansas City and then working with the new pitching staff has helped, as opposed to where he was, as opposed to what Josh Naylor was as a player when the Mariners traded
But
for
also
him.
he went off with the Mariners and learned how to steal bases.
That's true. And then they signed him in free agency. But even if we count that, it's the Mariners 5 and the Royals with 4. If we count Naylor and Cole Reagans. Mariners 5, Royals 4.
Problem is, how many do the Royals have from like 900 to 1,000? That's the problem. Hey, they also lead in that category. They have 7.
So probably 7 from 900 to 1,000.
How many guys are in Major League Baseball? It's like 26 times 30. That's less than 900.
But it's like, well, the Dodgers have 8 of them. Yeah, they do. and they're deferring. They have 8 of them, and they're paying a total of $4 million to Shohei and Kyle Tucker this year. Like, I mean, there's so many.
As opposed to the Royals,
deferred money.
who found these guys when they were 19, 20, 21, drafted, developed them. The Dodgers found these guys already in the top 100.
That's right.
That's where we found them. You know what? We have a great scouting department.
They only look at the top 100.
Yes.
They look at the top
That's
100 and say, that guy.
Yeah.
I will also point out, if there ever becomes a salary cap, that means that the Royals should do well with the current iteration who's in charge at the helm. And this is still my favorite little tidbit of a fun fact here. Josh Naylor, 30 stolen bases last year. Salvador Perez, 0 stolen bases last year. You know what they have in common?
They have the same sprint speed.
The exact same sprint speed of 24.4,
Really?
third percentile in all
24
of baseball.
miles an hour?
We've seen it with Bobby, though. It's so much more than speed stealing bases, right?
Well,
It's
mainly Garcia,
anticipation.
because Garcia's slower than Bobby, but he's been this last year wasn't as good, but 2 years ago, Garcia.
Imagine if that's what it would be. If Salvi stole 30 bases, that is Josh Naylor.
Wow.
Barely knew her.
Wow.
All right, so let's get into the conference championship games coming up this weekend. Sean Payton can't help himself but be Sean Payton. So in case you guys haven't heard, we're going to play this clip. This is from Sean Payton, and then we'll hear from a couple of Patriots players / Mike Vrabel. Sean Payton was asked, heading into the conference championship game this weekend, what is your I just love his answer. What is your message to the Broncos fans that'll be at the game?
Well, they're going to have plenty of rest after this one, 2 weeks. This is a team at the line of scrimmage that does a lot. Like, Josh is fantastic at putting together good plans offensively. I mean, and so there's alerts, there's kills, there's all, and so that, look, let's go. Right when again, I keep emphasizing, just as the huddle begins until the ball snapped.
Play the beginning again real quick. What's your message to Broncos fans there, Sean Payton?
Well, they're going to have plenty of rest after this one. Well, they're going to have plenty of rest after this one. 2 weeks.
There you go.
Yep.
This is a team at the line
so
of scrimmage that does
Sean
a lot.
Payton saying, shut off. That's what this means. This means stop playing it. Sean Payton, they're gonna have. What are you doing over there? Do you want to do a
Passing
show
notes.
or?
We're passing notes in class.
Oh, cool, man. All right, so you guys go ahead and do the show then.
Well, I thought plenty of time at first was going to mean 9 months because we're going to lose.
Yeah, right. No, we got.
What a dumb,
they have
first of all, it's a dumb
plenty of
question.
time to rest.
What do
Let's
you
do
tell
it.
the fans?
Oh,
what
I
a,
totally
What a
agree.
rah-rah.
Such a TV sports guy
Yeah,
question.
we're gonna have
Mick,
fun.
right, Mick? Right, Mick?
Probably the same person that was talking to Liam Cohen.
Maybe. I don't know.
Same fangirl.
Would be awesome if it was.
Dude.
What do you tell your fans? Go out there. You're going to have plenty of rest. You got 2 weeks to rest. Mike Vrabel was asked about if he has a response to Sean Payton's message to the fans about go out there and be loud because you'll have 2 weeks to rest before you need to cheer again. Here's Mike Vrabel.
I think we're plenty motivated for the game. I think that our players are continuing to build confidence through the week. So I'm really excited to go out there and play.
That was it. We're plenty motivated. It's the AFC Championship game. Keyshawn Booty. We're Booty fans. Keyshawn Booty was asked about the question is in here, so I'll just let them do it.
Did you see the Sean Payton quote insinuating that Denver fans will have some extra rest for the Super Bowl?
Nah, I ain't never seen
They
it.
said they have 2 weeks to rest up for the Super basically.
Yeah, no, I ain't seen it. I mean, you can rest in Cancun, too, at the end of the day. So, it is what it is.
You can rest in Cancun, too. So, look, we always talk about, do you need extra bulletin board for the AFC Championship game? I'll tell you this. The Chiefs had some fun with Burrowhead after that game was over.
The mayor?
They let all people.
the
So it's
mayor,
like,
too.
do the Chiefs really need the Burrowhead to get extra motivated? They probably didn't need it, but damn sure used it and let everybody know after the game was over about Burrowhead and
There might be a
that
little
jabroni.
2 week.
Woo, they got a lot more time to rest now, don't they?
Yeah.
If they come out victorious in this one. It's just
they'll
Sean
see.
Payton last year was like, we really liked the matchup in the next week if we'd have got there.
That's
which
just
was
who
the
he
Chiefs.
is.
I know that's what I'm saying. He can't help himself. It's
Yeah.
just who he is.
Do you think it's going to be Mike versus Mike, Sean versus Sean, or Sean versus Mike in the Super Bowl?
Wow.
2 Seans, 2
Didn't
Mikes.
realize that, yeah.
I think it's going to be.
I say Mike versus Mike.
I think it's actually going to be. I don't want it to be. I think it's going to be Mike versus Sean.
Which way?
Yeah, I think it's Mike versus Sean.
Or Sean versus Mike.
I think it's Mike McDonald versus Sean Payton.
Really? Sean Payton?
Unfortunately,
I would have thought
do.
you were going the other way.
Unfortunately, I do.
You know the Broncos are
And maybe
quarterback.
it's an emotional hedge.
You haven't got a game right in the AFC yet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
McVay versus
Loving it.
Vrabel is what I have.
Oh, we got to do first name. Sorry.
I have a Sean
I don't know who
versus
you're talking about.
I'm doing Mike versus Mike. I feel like I don't
Mike-
have
Mike
to
and Mike.
explain that
Yeah.
one, but yeah, I'll do.
Okay, is it Mike?
I think the
Vrabel?
least likely scenario is Sean versus Sean. Maybe most is Sean versus
So
Mike.
you're
'cause
saying
there's a couple. There's
we
two.
should-
There's two
Your
options.
favorite player would be no Sean Moreno.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly
Sean.
right. Yeah, from Georgia. Yeah, I think it might be an emotional hedge. I've killed it in the AFC. This is one where I'm going where a lot of my picks were because it was what I was also rooting for. This is not what I'm rooting for. I just feel like it seems so easy that the Patriots, because of Stidham and everything, like, I don't know. The Patriots have Drake May hasn't exactly been, Patrick Mahomes through the playoffs so far, and Stidham just has to do enough in that game. I don't know. I for whatever reason, I think the Broncos are going to win. I can't even really break down why I think the
I'd be
Broncos are going to
picking
win.
the Patriots probably even with Bo Nix.
I would too.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, with Bo Nix, I'd probably pick the Patriots. It's odd that I'm like Jarrett Stidham.
Seriously?
I feel like
What's going
Jarrett
on over
Stidham.
here?
I feel like it's odd. I don't know why. I'm
really
just telling
like
you how
what
I feel.
you saw from him in Baylor like
yes,
10 years ago.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, like there is something about him. There's no tape on him, which is a real advantage for him.
When Carson Wentz went down, Jason was the one guy that
Told
said,
y'all.
"I actually think Nick Foles is going to be better."
Big D. I told y'all. This is what you what you go with. It is totally random in my mind. I'm like, Jarrett Stidham, for whatever reason, I'm like, of course they go and win. That's what this season has been. Like, if Bo Nix goes down, of course they go and win. Bo Nix is healthy. Oh, Drake May, they win. Like, just weird. I don't know. So you guys, you have Rams, Patriots, Sterling?
Correct.
You have
Seahawks, Patriots.
Seahawks, Patriots.
Seahawks, Patriots.
I have Seahawks, Broncos.
Wow, with 3.
I'm the only Ram.
I really think that's
The Super Bowl is
that's
the
the one
NFC.
I kind of went back and forth on.
Well,
Like,
that's
I
the-
think
that's the
it's-
Super Bowl.
I think it could be, yeah.
That's the Super
I
Bowl.
think it is.
Who wins the Super Bowl in the NFC Championship game? We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Cuts next. All right, let's get his few cuts in here since Sterling just would not shut up about his Rams that he loves. Man,
Tougher than me. Better milk.
Jeez.
That's where he ended his
Felt
sentence.
something.
Milk?
I was watching the Miami offensive line, staring at that guy's butt.
Normal for you.
I'll take 5 guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bad call. 5 inches fits in there.
What was that?
This is speed run. I like it.
Apparently.
I like it.
5 inches fits in there.
Okay.
Just fits in there.
It does. Yeah. All right. There were about 20 more. We just ran out of time.
I was talking about the milk with my bones.
You spend time cutting them all up and getting them ready, and then you talk about Sean Payton and Keyshawn. You talk about Booty and Vrabel and Payton.
The weight in your hands.
The thickness in your hand. You feel it, how smooth it is sometimes. You know, the smell in your hands. Like, it's everything is awesome.
I don't remember what that was about, but it didn't sound good.
I have a horrible memory. Whenever I hear myself on there, I'm like, I don't remember saying that.
Any of that.
I just black out.
Say a lot of dumb things.
Yeah. I just black out on the show.
I think we just took too much time talking about Andy Pettit.
That's probably what it was. It was the Andy Pettit versus Mark Burley. All right. Everybody be safe. We will talk to you guys on Monday. Enjoy the weekend as much as you can.
Trying to.
Yeah.
You're going to throw a robe on and sit in front of a fire.
Yeah.
There you go. The sitting chair. Nice.